Yo, what up, everybody? So usually when I do podcasts, I do the intro after I've recorded the podcast. That's how I've done most of them. This one's going to be a little bit different. This one I'm doing before they get here, mainly just because I'm bored as fuck and all the equipment's set up and ready to go. Seriously, can't wait for them to get here. I'm going to have Good Grief on, who is a local emo punk band. I'm sure they'll expand on what they actually are when they get here, which is why it's important to do these afterwards. But fuck it. I've got my friend Austin Cooper coming over, drummer for Phantom Party, to kind of co-host the whole thing and help steer the ship, because I don't know this band. He knows them very well. I know their music, but he actually knows them personally, so he's going to come over and co-pilot this thing. So can't wait. They're going to be here any minute. Yeah, motherfucker, enjoy the show. So what's up, guys?
Hey.
Thanks for coming over. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for... All right, I need to get this fucking dog off the couch now because the dog is going to be ridiculous the entire time. All right. What up? So I don't know really anything about you other than your music, which is why Austin's here to co-pilot with me. Hi, let's say hello, Austin.
What up, what up?
All right, so with me I have Good Grief, which is Cameron... And Curt. Yeah. Right. Cameron and Curt. Fantastic. Off to a great start.
You're a great researcher.
So yeah, I'm a great researcher.
To be fair, nothing written about
yeah, no, I know the album, and I know that Trucker song is badass. And I was talking to Austin about it the other night. That song was fucking hard as shit.
That probably is the one that we fuck up the most live.
Really?
Obviously, yeah, really quickly.
Let me turn
just
your mic
because I don't know, there's something about it. Like the second that you're trying to do that exact same punk rhythm over and over and over again, the entire song, and it has that little kick thing where it's like. Doop.
Yeah.
I think it's like because we usually play it first too.
Yeah.
And then and like it's like our warming up.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Getting all the nerves past it. And shit.
Yeah.
So where are you coming from? Do you live in Tempe?
No, we basically grew up right near Apache Junction our entire life.
Oh, fuck that.
East Mesa.
East Mesa. Okay,
Yeah.
Is that much better?
Mesa.
We just say
East
very
Mesa?
east.
Very east.
instead of saying Apache Junction.
Well, you tell people Apache Junction, they all have the same reaction you do. Where they're
Like,
just like,
yeah, no.
Or they're
fuck
like
that.
When I think of Apache Junction, I think of the DMV, and I think of this really awful. Place where you can still buy spice under the counter. Do you remember?
That's home.
What are you talking about? You mean the Up and Smoke place, man? That's right.
Is that what it is? It's like a liquor store / like smoke shop, I guess,
Yeah.
and it's just in the middle of fucking nowhere.
I guess we won't fuck them. They should get in trouble anyways.
Yeah,
I don't know
the name, but
they
like,
fucking sold underage cigarettes to like
you
everybody
go.
in our high school.
Well,
that was the place.
Growing up in Gilbert, there was a place right by Williamsfield High School where it was like half of it was like Mexican music, and the other half they would just sell cigarettes to minors who they knew, they knew they could trust.
Yeah. Well, it was the same thing. It would be like the same people that come in all the time.
Exactly.
Be like, yeah, you're fucking good. You're fine.
Exactly. So, yeah, no, I remember I had this junkie tattoo artist friend for a while, and I would give him rides in exchange for tattoos. It's kind of like Spun, except for without meth.
Yeah.
And then it was that, and then he was like, hey, could you take me to get spice? There's this place that sells it if you give him a code word. And I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, it's Apache Junction.
Code word.
Oh, it was so sketchy. So
What was the code word?
I don't remember the code word. It was probably something stupid. But
The Velveeta.
The Bob Marley special.
yeah. And, like the guy would like look both ways. I just stayed in the car. I was like, fuck this. So how long have you guys known Austin?
I met Austin probably about 4 years ago, like one time.
Really?
In the middle of the night. Yeah.
In the middle of the night?
I remember the exact day, man. I met him on Black Friday.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
I bought my laptop.
At
That's what I
H&M?
did.
At H&M, no.
No.
That's where you always are on Black Friday.
Yeah.
And then I worked with Cameron for a lot of months.
That's Zia.
A lot of months.
A nice amount of months.
Were you there? Now, Cameron, were you there the entire time that he was there?
Yeah, I'm still
there?
working there right
Still
now.
there? Very cool.
Yeah, he left.
Why did you leave that, Austin? It sounds like a cool gig.
Why'd I leave Zia?
Yeah.
No
Didn't
money.
like that minimum wage life.
Really? Was it just the money?
It was, well, there was the money, and it was the fact that it got to the point where everybody that I worked with didn't work there anymore that I started with.
Gotcha.
And I was like, shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you guys first get together? Has it always just been you two?
No. So what happened first? We were in an old band that we don't even want to say the name of because it just seems like a high school band. And so we did that for a really long time, actually, probably about like 3 or 4 years. We did that with a different guy playing drums, and we met together doing that. And so we played for a good few years. Had to eventually end up having like 5 people in that band. And then everything, just happens when you have a bunch of dudes in a band. Everybody just starts fighting, and nobody
Getting
gets
naked.
along or anything.
Yeah.
There's too many directions.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So me and Curt, we were in that band. We decided just to work together. Just us. We were the only ones getting along.
Talking to the mic, bro.
Sorry.
To the mic. You're fine. I'm just like trying to like subtly like move it. Like, hey,
That's
talk
right.
directly into the mic.
So yeah, we were the only ones getting along. So we just started something else, and they were like, you can't use our songs. So we were just like, we'll just make new ones.
Yeah.
Make a new name, and so basically just started fresh right there. Kind of just started over. So
Well,
we'd already known each other for like maybe like 2 or 3 years, and like been playing together. And then once we started Good Grief, we were like kind of trying to start fresh.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Doing the thing we actually wanted to do. I don't know. It was more like we were already the major songwriters of the band beforehand, and so it didn't feel that different. It just felt more concise. And I've been playing drums since I was a little kid, just fucking around and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, me and him both know how to kind of play drums. We'll just do it ourselves. We'll pretend we're Max Bemis and play everything.
And you know what's weird is I found out my old band with Josh played with their old band
Yeah.
a few years ago.
It's meant to be.
I didn't realize that.
What band
until,
was it?
We were called the Semester Review.
Yes, I remember you guys. Yeah, we played
with them.
Harry show, wasn't it?
And getting your heart broken.
Exactly.
I was like,
That's the shit.
one of those green kite shows.
was
Let's
one
all
of
love
those.
those, right?
The what kind of shows? What is it?
Green
like a
kite.
Promoter.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Good stuff.
So were you guys always more? You always knew what you. Did you have more in common musically than everybody else then too?
Oh yeah, no, like me and him
mostly
literally
it.
just so my favorite band when we met was Nirvana and his was Weezer, if that tells you a very close
So it's
Okay.
intersection. And then of course me and him just kept showing each other music all the time and like things that we liked,
Instead of sounding like we didn't really want to sound like Linkin Park or anything.
Yeah. Is that what the original direction was? Lincoln
Yeah.
was new metal.
No, because everybody in high school, everybody that was in our school was either like a rapper or in like some really horrible screamo band. Like those
See,
are the 2 things that were going on.
Everyone in my high school just wanted to be like Day to Remember.
Yeah, same
That was
thing.
the
That was
biggest
the
thing.
time period.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody
were
was Day to Remember, like do do do.
What was your class though? What's your when did you graduate?
2012.
2012.
Fuck yeah, same.
Yeah,
Cool.
all right.
So we're perfect. We're in
we
the
know
same boat.
exactly what area we're talking about.
Because I had Sunland on a few weeks ago, and they're fucking rad, but they're all like 17. So he's like, yeah, my emo phase was like talking about all these fucking bands I never even heard of, because by that time I was not into like emo or metal
like,
that
yeah.
much. So I was just
Emo's
like, I don't know
different
who the
now.
fuck those people are. Do you guys remember Census Fail? Like,
Yeah, that's the kind
you
of
remember
emo.
about
like,
Silverstein? Remember
yeah,
Silverstein?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's cool with that.
That's our kind of emos. Like,
You know what's
I
really
love
funny
that
though?
shit.
Soundtrack.
I didn't really get into Silverstein or anything like that until I got way older. Like when I was younger, all I listened to was grunge. So, like,
Okay,
and-
gotcha.
Yeah, like everybody starts off listening to metal. Everybody likes Metallica when they start
Yeah, for
learning
sure.
an
For
instrument.
sure, yeah.
Because you want to be super cool and
Yeah,
flashy.
yeah.
And then eventually you start learning into and then punk just like totally saturated me. Like my
Yeah.
uncle bought me
Oh shit.
a Misfits album that was like a collection, the one with the green skull on it. He probably
Oh,
knows
yeah,
if he
Collection
stocked
One.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Collection 1. I listened the fuck out of that.
That's amazing. See, like that's such a cooler way to get into punk. I got into pop punk heavily.
Yeah.
I got really into Blink-182 and Sum 41 and Bowling for Soup and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I think a lot of people got into it
Yeah.
from that though. Like Green Day was my inspiration.
Oh yeah,
for
of
punk.
course
Like,
Green Day too. I
yeah.
forgot about Green Day.
Yeah.
But then Anti-Flags for Blood and Empire came out.
The real punk. Like when you
which
heard
still like hardcore punk guys are still saying fuck that, that's not real punk. Listen to Die Free the Government, whatever.
Well, everybody
But, like,
says nobody's real fucking
exactly.
punk,
So
I mean,
yeah. So fucking that album blew my head apart, and that's when I started to really get into punk rock. And I
Yeah.
started to discover 80s hardcore and got
Yeah.
really, really into that. And I'm still into that today.
yeah. Well, I mean, how could you not be into it? I mean, that
Yeah.
aggression and that
But,
power
yeah.
is like.
But I still love like emo music. I still But there's some bands that are emo that I fucking are garbage, but I like them anyway because of where I was that time. Like, I will still listen to Silence in Black and White by Hawthorne Heights.
Hawthorne Heights.
Like,
you listen, you're like, God, these guys are lame.
it's not good.
Yeah,
it's not good at all.
It's
but
beautiful
it has
for what
that
it is.
place in my heart of being like 15 and like that.
Yeah.
I lived in Ohio, so I just remember listening to it in the snow and being all bummed out all the time.
We used to have a telemarketer call because remember back in caller ID when we were younger.
Yeah.
It was from Ohio, and we used to answer the phone and scream that song into it all the time, so they would stop calling us.
That band was fucking huge.
Yeah.
Because I grew up 15 minutes away from where they were from.
Really?
So
Yeah.
they were the biggest thing in the world. Like, they were so fucking huge. You couldn't. Everyone's like, oh yeah, I know Casey. I know this person. Blah blah blah. That was the biggest.
New
thing
people
ever.
do that here with Jimmy Eat World, or everybody's like, yeah, I know the
AJJ.
guy from Gym Blossoms. Yeah.
Who cares about the Who's impressed by that? Like,
Dude, this old guitar
That's like
guy
my
at this
favorite
one
band.
place. God, he's like that, man. He like sat there and told me straight to my face that Kurt Cobain didn't write his own songs, and I was
Dude.
like,
what was that? What was the song on the Empire Records soundtrack that they did? Fucking.
Is it Hey Jealousy?
No,
Follow
is
You
it?
Down?
I heard it or I heard about you. Maybe is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the song.
Follow you.
Yeah, that's a fucking good song. That's a great soundtrack.
Oh yeah, you're
So,
gonna love one-hit wonders of
Makes
Arizona.
it sound to be from Arizona.
Yeah, probably. I didn't even know Jimmy Eat World was from Arizona until like 2 years ago.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that shit
Yeah.
at all. No one talks about that.
Well, because they moved to LA before they got big. Like
Oh, is that
nobody
what it was?
knew the fuck they were when they
So
were
like
in
the
Arizona.
first couple like emo, really true emo albums
Yeah.
were from here, and
Yeah.
then like
Yeah, 'cause
Bleed
I remember-
American on.
Well, yeah,
was-
because who isn't sad here in Arizona? I mean, it's Arizona.
Sadness is universal.
My aunt was telling me she went to high school with them, and she's like, I remember watching them play in like high school plays and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, I mean, they weren't bad, but I didn't think anything of them. And then all of a sudden, I heard them on the radio, and they were like really good.
Yeah.
She's like, what happened?
I've never seen them live though, so I don't know if they're.
I haven't either. I mean, I've listened.
Maybe they're not. I don't know.
I think that
There's
was
some
my
bands.
introduction into emo, though, was the Clarity album. That was my
Clarity, yeah.
introduction.
See, that's the
Yeah.
thing. I only knew Bleed American Forward, so people were always saying Jimmy Eat World's the first like best emo band, and I was just
You're
like,
I don't get it.
I don't understand that at all. And then I heard the first couple albums, and I was like, okay,
Yeah,
but
now
then,
you-
Yeah, but don't say it, though. I mean, Bleed America's probably is their best album because
Yeah,
it's the
for-
most
no, for sure.
concise. I mean,
Yeah.
you get bored halfway through how the other albums, even though
agree.
you want to be cool and
That's
listen
not
to
really
them.
true though. I mean, I feel like there were bands before him that did that, but they just did it and got popular. Like
Yeah.
Piebald, like stuff like that. Like it was like kind of like old Jimmy World and stuff.
when I think of emo, as in American '90s emo, that's
Yeah.
true emo. I think of Mineral. Or I think, you know what I mean? I think of bands like that, or even like early Modest Mouse.
Well, think
But-
about even like Cursive's first couple albums
Curse,
were
yeah.
straight emo.
Yeah.
Like before they were like
Like
Sonic
grungy.
Youth with a little bit more
Yeah.
songwriting. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
So you guys are working on something right now, right?
yeah, we're
Yeah?
actually just finishing it up. Yeah.
Sweet. Is it a full album? Is it? They know this is way too
Yeah.
early to talk about this,
10
but
songs.
10
whole
songs? That's an
songs,
album.
yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's an
Yeah,
album.
and we already have like 15 more to record, but you know,
Holy
we
shit,
just say, yeah,
that's awesome.
we never fucking stop writing songs. It's our
We
problem.
always like when we start out, we have like fucking 20 or more songs, and then it hones down to either like
Yeah.
8 or 10.
Which
8 or
one
10.
sounds the
Yeah.
most finished at the
Yeah.
moment? Like, which one can we finish up right now?
Yeah, no.
Because a lot of it's I don't know. We find a lot more fun trying to figure stuff out in the recording studio to a certain
Oh,
extent.
yeah.
Like you want to have the basics of the songs down and everything like that, but it's more fun to try to figure it out.
We've got like the skeletons of every song, and then once we get in the studio, we start kind of seeing like what like genre it would be.
Yeah.
So like that's where it kind of comes to life.
For
And
sure.
It's kind of more fun for us too. We get to like see what happens.
No, absolutely. I think most of our writing, like, a lot of the cool embellishments that really make the song are all things that we came up with in the
Hell
studio,
yeah.
which is
Well,
why
yeah.
it's nice to do it ourselves, not in the studio, because we don't have to waste the engineer's time.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I
And
mean?
money.
Yeah, of course, and money. Yeah.
And you don't have to waste your own money. Well, it's more fun when you're doing it yourself because then it feels more artistic to me, at least. Some people find it really annoying. Like, I don't find it annoying until you start getting to the mixing stage and you've heard the song 13 times. Yeah, 13 million. Sorry, not 13.
The mixing
I wish it was
stage
only
makes
13.
me so fucking. I don't know about you, Austin, but it makes me so anxious because I'm always. Josh will send a mix and he'll say, "Hey, here's the new mix for this song," and I'm like, okay, I have to mentally and emotionally prepare myself.
Yeah.
Like it's always this thing of, oh shit, I hope this is okay. I hope it's good. Like,
Yeah.
oh no.
You're never gonna like it either. That's the thing.
No,
is
you're
you
never
have
gonna
to-
be
it-
satisfied.
You have to get to the
Exactly.
point where you're okay with it. That's
Yeah,
all it ever
you have
gets
to be comfortable.
Yeah. No, that's it right there.
You have to be. Yeah, it sucks. That fucking sucks. So, how long did it take you to do the first one?
The first album?
Wait, what's the album that's up right now?
Okay, we don't technically have a name for it right now. We're kind of going with just like dimming
we have a
light
few,
or
but-
Rum for Your
Okay.
Life. We have a few names that we're throwing around.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of those things you pick at the last second.
Uh-huh.
I guess for us, it always has been for us.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
never can figure it out
No,
because we always feel too cool for trying to figure out an album title all the time. Like I don't know, it makes me laugh to myself. But so the last one that we did was I Don't Know Why, I Don't Know Why.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
So,
that's the name I was looking for.
That one,
Classic.
that album, the classic.
The only.
Sold all 100 of them. It's gone copper. But like that album took it only takes about a week and a half to record.
Oh,
yeah, that's about
Yeah.
right. That's about
And
right.
then the mixing takes a long time. Usually, just
Usually.
because we're working and everything like that, it's hard to get together and do
Already,
it.
we've been mixing for like over a month.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's
This
yeah.
album we took a lot more time to record though. This one we took probably about 3 weeks to record.
Okay, there you go.
We did it a little bit slower.
So what's
See-
different between this one and the last one?
It kicks ass.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot heavier. A lot,
Is it? That's
heavier.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
We made it a lot more conscientious effort to be heavier because
Okay.
that's the thing we always get told when we play live. We sound a lot heavier than we do in
Yeah.
the studio by a lot. We've always been like that though. Me and Cameron think that we're in a metal band, I guess. When we play live.
That's right. No, that's cool.
Just got to hit the shit out of everything, but
That's how Austin is.
yeah.
It's
What's
a
the
weird dichotomy.
I
It
just
works.
try to hone like all the emotion from Modest Mouse, but then at the same
You're-
time energy from like Dillinger
yeah.
Escape Plan, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Well-
Kurt's louder, so I'm gonna give
Kurt's always
I'm gonna
loud.
give the mic. I'm gonna give the mic to Cameron
All
so
right.
he can talk right into
We
it.
did
Not
just
as yellow.
And then he can just be normal.
we did just come from practice and my throat's like all
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
ripped, so
That's cool.
So when you recorded it, was it just you two that recorded it? Because
Oh, yeah.
for a minute you had another person.
Yeah, so it's not anything bad happened. I mean, we're still friends, but his name was Cameron as well. He's
Yeah.
actually doing a band called, is it Shut-Ins or Erico right now? I don't know. They keep
Yeah,
switching
he's got
the name
names.
because they just started. He's just doing music more of his style. He's more into like spacey, like art rock type of things,
Oh,
you know?
yeah, for
Like a
sure.
little bit more of the hardcore stuff, like Ceremony and whatnot, like old Ceremony
Yeah.
albums. Which is, you know, cool with me and all, but it's just not how me and Cameron play.
Yeah.
No,
I
yeah,
mean, we come from like Nirvana, Weezer, Say Anything.
Yeah.
Like we like really concise.
and he still like knows our songs and he said he's still down to he might play with us still live.
That's cool.
You know, just
That's
to,
cool.
for our sounds and stuff, you
Yeah.
know. He does help out a lot and he wrote some of his own parts in the songs, but
Yeah.
yeah, for the most part, the record's just me and Curt.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, it was fun to do it like that. You know, just always more fun
Yeah.
when it's just a wavelength. Me and him have been working together so long,
Oh,
Yeah, but-
yeah,
Just,
yeah.
back and
definitely.
forth all the time. Especially
Yeah.
with like things like bass or like doing guitar leads and stuff, because we don't do that while we're practicing together.
I feel like that's the thing because you guys played together before Good Grief too. So you've been playing together so long. I can only imagine that you guys are just pretty much like
Yeah.
know each other.
I know where he's going with
Like
this
I'll
song.
get
Yeah.
I'll give him a new idea and be like, hey man, like hear this out, and he'll just like it's not mean, but he can just tell me like, it's fucking garbage, and like and I can get it like, oh, okay, I get it, and then like something else I'll do and he'll just be like, no, it's perfect, like do it like that,
Yeah.
do it better, you know, like that.
For sure.
People think we're so mean to each other in the studio too.
It's
Nobody
just- yeah.
ever likes watching this one in the studio because
We're
we're just
dicks.
like, that sucked, do it again, and like
Yeah.
like completely cold, but it's just
Yeah.
us working.
No,
Like,
no, there's nothing wrong with that. You need that for sure.
Yeah.
That's really, really important.
well,
Being
that was the
able-
thing with the old band. It was like that always, that we had to like pussyfoot with everybody. Like you had to like be scared,
Yeah,
like to tell somebody if they weren't doing good,
Yeah.
and that's annoying. You
That's
don't want
super annoying.
because you're in a band. Like
You need to
it's
be a
not-
professional.
Yeah. I mean, you're the saying you're not playing those drums on time, or you're not being solid on that guitar lead or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be able to just say that. Be like, get better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
get better.
Austin doesn't even need it. Austin will be like, dude, that drum trick was fucking awesome and it was rad. And he'll be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it 8 more
Yeah, you
times.
know
I'm
that.
gonna take my pants off.
yeah. You
I'm
gotta
telling you guys, recording is the worst part for me because I could like for a good amount of the songs we recorded like 13 songs for this album, and a good amount of them I got on the first or second take.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it was the next 18 where I was like, you know what, I can do better than that, and I
Exactly.
kept going and fucking. So by the end of it, it took like 6 or 7 hours to record all 13 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knock
We're the same
them
way,
out.
yeah. Though.
But I feel like that's good, like that you guys are comfortable with each other, because I know with Josh, and I feel like that's kind of how it is with just anybody, you know? Like you automatically get this. You're still trying to judge where you stand with them, I
Yeah.
guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I know with Matt, I didn't really warm up to even Matt for the first like few months, you know.
Yeah.
And with Josh, it took even longer. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it takes a bit, you know.
But you
Now
can tell
we're
the difference
good.
between
Yeah.
constructive criticism and then just being an asshole. Like,
Oh
and
yeah,
that- yeah,
for sure.
yeah, like
Exactly, yeah.
it makes sense.
There's a total difference. It's all tonal. It's all you can tell. It's the way
Right.
you say it. All that stuff really, really matters. And being able to take it and being able to use it.
And then we're like really gay to each other too, so that helps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have so many naked videos of Josh on my
It's
phone.
just
It's not-
bromance, man. I've probably seen Cameron naked more times than I probably ever need to see him.
I
in
don't
my
even-
life
More than I
over.
remember.
I'm not even gonna talk about how many times I've seen Austin naked in
And
all
it's not a
different
fun
variations.
time when they're naked. You're just like, fuck, he's naked again.
It
Here
becomes
comes
no
the
longer
gay
fun.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna go there with Austin right now.
Anyway.
This is not the podcast for it.
Derailed.
But
Fuck.
It's always
But-
the scrawny guys that want to get naked at parties.
That's all we got, man. That's all we got.
Austin got naked in front of a pizza guy once. It was hilarious. I told the story on a podcast that's gonna be up eventually, but fuck it, I'm gonna tell it again. Austin, we were all gonna put on gay porn in the background while the pizza guy got there and just be and get half naked and like rub each other down and stuff.
Yeah.
Just to be in the background, because the way that Josh's house was set up at the time was there's a main hallway that would take you to the living room, and then that hallway, from that hallway there was just like you could see just part of the living room. We all pussed out at the last minute, being reasonable, saying, what if it's an underage person? What if it's a girl? We don't know. We all pussed out. Austin's fucking savage. Did not give a fuck. So Austin,
I don't care if I go to jail.
Austin
Fuck
does
it.
not give a fuck. So Austin, when we all pussed out, he just starts getting naked as soon as the door knocks, and I'm freaking out and laughing my ass off. And what he does is he takes his clothes off. And he does like have you guys ever seen like the Patterson Sasquatch footage of just the walking like, with your arms? Like, yeah.
Okay.
So he does that. He does one, looks over, just does one like that. And then he stops and he does it again the other way. But he's not getting, from what it looked like to me is he wasn't getting the acknowledgement that he desired.
Yeah.
So he pretended to fall and
I'm
spreaded his
Bigfoot.
legs open so that he could see everything and just like pinwheeled his legs.
And I landed on my fucking ass.
You can hear like the stark like of his naked body hitting the floor.
Oh my god.
And then I was like having a heart attack on the floor, laughing so hard.
So did you tip the guy?
That was the thing. Is the whole time that was happening, Josh and our friend Bryce were with the pizza guy, just having to be cool.
Just like
And, yeah,
Straight face.
like everything's normal.
it was the most ridiculous thing
So
of
it
all
wasn't
time.
just the tip.
Yeah.
So that was super fun.
Solid.
We
You know, I don't think you
could.
could phase pizza people though. I think they've seen everything.
I'm a
in
pizza
reality.
delivery guy. I know.
Yeah.
Like I've seen
It's a
all kinds of
battlefield.
weird shit. It is a battlefield for sure. I had these girls once ask if there was these drunk party girls were like, "Hey, if we flash you, could we get like a discount?" And I'm just like, "You paid for it for credit card, so it's already paid for. I don't really know what I can do for you."
Like, totally.
You should have thrown him for a loop and be like, I'm actually gay.
It was, dude. It
They're
was
like-
super. I should have, because it made me super uncomfortable.
Because then they'd be like, what do I do?
No, it was just one of those things of like, at that time in my life, I was like, that was a long time ago. That was like,
Yeah.
I was like 19. And I was super fucking, alcohol made me nervous. I was super emo. Alcohol
get
made me
you.
nervous. I didn't like when people lost control. It made me feel really uncomfortable. So the fact that all these girls were like, I'm going to flash you, boo! And they were just fucking stupid. It made me crazy. It made me uncomfortable. I just wanted to leave really
Like
bad.
these people, they're savages.
Yeah, it just made me so uncomfortable. And then I remember calling someone to tell them the crazy story, and they were like, "You're fucking stupid. I don't know why. I don't know what your problem is."
They're like, why don't you just say yes?
Yeah, it was.
Well, man, that's everybody when they're like younger and stuff. You have the missed opportunities. You're
All
just
the missed
like, why didn't I do
opportunities.
that? Why
Yeah.
am I a fucking idiot?
I know. I didn't party at all in my teenage years, and I'm making all up in my 20s.
Well, that's what I didn't do. I didn't drink until I was like fucking 17. And I was
didn't
like,
drink
oh,
till I
I
was
missed
22.
a Yeah,
Yeah.
see, there you go.
There you go.
Late bloomer over here.
Yeah, for sure. I started smoking pot until I was 21. Didn't start drinking until I was 22.
I didn't smoke pot until I was 18.
Yeah, I never.
was like-
but it wasn't even like some cool stance. I just wasn't interested. I had no interest.
No, that was
in-
mine
yeah.
too. I mean, I was totally the guy that was like, I'm not straight edge. Fuck that.
Yeah, I
Like,
wish
why
I was
you-
making a stand, but I
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just.
I'll stick
No,
with
don't make a
cigarettes.
stand, man. That's the same.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Let people do what they want.
So, what are your one of the questions that I really like asking is, what do your lyrics generally center around?
Cocaine. No, I don't know.
Girls.
Just fucking whatever hurts. Yeah. Yeah. It's-
Pain.
I mean, like, I don't like telling people we're like an emo band because it just has a bad vibe, and then and then people think you're automatically this type of genre. We're really like, I don't think we're that. We're not going for that genre, but at the same time, like, we're emo as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
like everything centered is pretty. I mean, emotional is what the emo.
Well, I think the lyrics
So-
are more emo than the music is, though. 'Cause
Exactly.
The
That's
music
fine.
is a lot more like pop punky, but
Yeah.
like tongue-in-cheek pop punk. We've been told a few times, like
Mm-hmm.
it's not like
Self-aware.
We're yeah, self-aware. We're not trying to be like super pop punky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't know if I really get that. There's no, you just don't use enough octaves
Yeah.
for it to sound like pop punk.
And
No octave. There's
Yeah.
not enough.
I don't
octave
have a double
leads.
bass pedal. I call my drum set the anti-metal set. So
Do you think of pop punk as having double bass?
Yeah, I really
don't.
do. Like
Maybe.
recently, dude. It's
Well,
been all
recently,
like
but
that.
I haven't listened to pop punk in like a
the
fucking
day to remember
decade.
kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah,
Pop
okay.
punk,
Is
yeah.
that
I mean,
pop
that's
punk?
the-
Is Day to Remember pop punk?
They were. I mean, I don't know what they're doing now. I mean, I really haven't listened to it ever since like I haven't had to hear it on girls' speakers and grade on their phone. Like people trying to show me data. You'll like them. You like rock music. I hate that.
like rock
that
music.
rock. That like whole round thing. I'm like, no, rock music is the
Nickelback's
hardest
also
to like
rock.
everything.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm just really out of touch because I just think of pop punk and all I think of is the early 2000s like
Yeah.
pop punk revival. I
Yeah.
don't think of anything.
Well, because I'd say we're pop punk, but at the same time, it's because we're poppy, in the
Yeah.
sense of that you can
Melodies.
bob
sung
your head
along.
to it,
Yeah.
kinda, dance kind of somewhat to it, but then also punk with the attitude of rock and roll and the attitude of like in your kind of face kind of shit.
yeah, for
so
sure.
like pop punk in the sense like Green Day does a good job of pop punk, I
yeah,
think.
absolutely.
Like, sure, they weren't probably going for that title, but I think they fit it, and I think that's what's a good title of
Yeah.
it.
I think they hate that. I think
They
most
probably hate the
bands
shit
who
out
are
of it.
called pop
Well, I
punk
think
hate
it's the same
title.
reason though. Is what people think is pop punk is
Yeah.
probably not really what pop punk.
Yeah,
is.
not
Yeah.
Man Overboard.
They
like,
think because it has power chords and
yeah.
a melody, it's pop punk, but that's not
That's
the
not
way
true.
it is.
Yeah, I
though.
agree with
mean,
that.
it's still supposed to be punk music at
It's
heart.
just a lazy title. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, but emo is a lazy title too.
Yeah, that's another thing. You can't
Yeah.
use the word emo without people automatically assuming everybody sounds like Hawthorne Heights.
Yeah.
Not everybody sounds like
Because
Yeah.
Hawthorne
I'd say modern baseball sounds emo to me.
Yeah.
Are they an emo band?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
super emo to me.
Yeah.
Like I've always thought of them as like that. They're kind of podunky, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I hear emo today, I don't think of Hawthorne Heights. Now I think of there's like an emo revival kind of going on right
Pierce
now.
the Veil.
And no, not Pierce the Veil. I think of like a lot of the emo bands that I'm hearing that are coming out now are very revivalists. They're very taking it back to like pre Hawthorne Heights.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like that though. Kind of like when I heard the band Piebald, I'm like, oh, that's what emo
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
like. I'm like, oh, that's what that
Supposed-
is
yeah.
finally.
Yeah.
And then like the Get Up Kids and everything like
I
that. There's
love
a
the
lot
Get
of
Up Kids,
stuff
yeah.
earlier.
Yeah. I'm just now getting into the Get Up Kids. They passed me by
Really?
somehow.
I remember.
I just started listening to it.
How is it?
It's amazing.
Okay, good.
I can totally hear that Motion State Soundtrack were huge fans of that
Yeah.
album.
Yeah. It's funny when you hear that shit, and like,
Yeah.
let's say like Motion City Soundtrack, I think is really pop punk to me. They're a really big inspiration when it comes to songwriting for
I can-
my songs.
Love
Yeah, I mean, I can
Yeah.
tell
Love them.
because your music's all poppy, but you listen to the lyrics and they're all like
Downer and
they're
Yeah.
like just
rough.
emo based.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just like how Motion City sounds.
Yeah, we
I
would
mean,
sound
Mr.
like one of
Memory
those
was all
weird
that.
kids
Yeah.
that writes poetry in his bedroom. If you just read them like out loud, like not in
Yeah.
a song, you're just kind of like,
I wouldn't picture it as like a poppy
Somebody,
song.
I don't remember what song it was. One of my friends said that to me too. They were like, I listened to one of your songs a ton of times and I loved it, and then I read the lyrics and I was like, God damn, like, what's wrong with you?
Well, the thing about Motion City Soundtrack is their lyrics aren't just emo; they're brilliant.
Yeah.
Really, they're full of imagery and gorgeous, like polysyllabic words and all these. He just takes you. He's like an emo Greg Graffin, just taking you through this literary experience.
It's not emotion. It's Anxiety City soundtrack.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what it should be
no,
called.
I
I mean,
love
it's
Anxiety.
the
All, like,
soundtrack
mental
to
illness,
anxiety.
I love it. I love it.
Listen to like Delirium and stuff like that. or-
Fucking okay. My Dinosaur Life is my favorite album. My favorite album.
mine.
And Austin and Josh are always like,
We're
really?
just, like,
I mean, it's
committed to this
okay.
memory.
It's no one's favorite.
It's my favorite.
Worker Bee is the best way to open an album. I fucking
Yeah.
love everything about that album. Even weird
it's-
songs that disappear in Delirium. I
Yeah.
love History Lesson. I love all
Dude,
the
her
songs
words
on that album.
destroy my planet, man.
It's
I mean,
amazing. I like
that one.
Yeah.
I like that
Oh, the single. You like
Or
the fucking
the
single?
one where it's just like a bunch of it's like ampersands, like a bunch of symbols or whatever. The like, you
Yeah,
know,
the- I like
my
that one.
friends
Yeah,
love
okay.
super
Uh-huh.
motherfucker. Like that one's
Yeah, the
funny.
one about-
like
yeah.
motherfucker. Like
Yeah,
you say it like
I love
so
that
like,
song.
"Ooh."
That song is great. I fucking love that. But the reason I love that album was I listened to nothing but Commit This to Memory, and then by the time Even If It Kills Me came out, I just wasn't into them anymore. It wasn't a conscious thing.
You know, that
I
album's
fell away
really
from them.
soft for them. I
is.
wasn't. That one lost me on
I
it.
love
like,
it.
yeah.
I love it now, but the thing is, like, I, for whatever reason, fell away from them and got into some other kind of music or whatever. And then I got back into them when My Dinosaur Life came out, and I fucking loved it. I think that's one of the reasons I love it so much, because it
Yeah.
was like rediscovering Motion City Soundtrack
Yeah.
all over again.
I think that's where I got my love for him, is from that. Because, you know,
Yeah,
I
me
listen
too.
to, like, you know, Commit to This Memory and stuff like that.
think
I
I
didn't
Am the
listen to
Movie.
that, but
I love
I Am the
Commit to
Movie is
Memory.
really fucking good, though.
I don't like that
I
album
am.
at all.
That's my favorite one.
I don't
that's
get
my
it.
favorite.
Punk, I love it though for that. Like, you know, listen to Cambridge and he's not singing that good. Like
Yeah.
the synth's really loud in the mix. It's really cool. Like,
Yeah, that's a weird one. For some reason, there's a couple songs that are always hard passes, but I really like Modern Chemistry.
I
That's
like
my
that
favorite
one.
song on that album.
That's
I love
okay.
Modern
What
Chemistry.
is it? Does that one have My Favorite Accidents on that one?
That's
Yeah.
on that
Yeah,
one.
that's probably my favorite one.
They have
on that
this
album.
song on it called it was called Indoor Living. That's
Yeah.
a good
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Mary Without Sound is on that.
Yeah.
Capital H. No.
Capital H.
Capital
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
We can just go through their entire catalog.
We totally
yeah,
will.
that song.
I-
that
I-
song's awesome.
I love. People don't give. I really feel like people who aren't into Motion City Soundtrack don't give them enough credit because everyone writes them off as being a pop punk band or
Exactly.
whatever.
But they're brilliant.
Yeah.
though.
Not
They're
at all,
great
yeah.
songwriters.
Amazing.
Like, I actually met Justin in a coffee shop. His cousin was like Snapchatting him or something. And I actually got to meet him when they came here
Really?
to Arizona when they had
Yeah,
like
they
had to
just, like,
cancel the
hung out.
show because he had like a sore throat or something like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and so I met him at Cartel Coffee, which not that good a coffee, but
That's cool.
Oh, I like it.
Cartel Coffee.
overpriced, not that good.
Oh,
It was
I
really
like
funny,
it.
and the worst thing is the thing I probably hate about them the most because I get really nervous when I'm like meeting people like that. Like it's not something
too.
I'm ever used to.
Me
like
too.
I get all the shakes and
Yeah,
I
me
start
too.
going like this or whatever, and then they give me this like I just ordered like some espresso. And they put it on this glass plate with a glass cup. And so, like, I'm walking over there, and it's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm totally playing it off
Heard you
cool.
coming from
Yeah.
fucking 50 away.
Yeah.
He was a really cool guy, though. We just sat around and talked about comic books and everything like that because he just got done looking at the comic book store that's right next to it.
That's cool.
What's
Yeah.
where is it? What's comic store next to it? Let's do it.
Atomic Comics. It used to be called that. But
gone.
it's something called that. It's something different now.
Was this hair all fucking crazy? or
Oh
was it
yeah,
more
it's always
laid
like
back?
that. Yeah, it probably wasn't as up as usual. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's kind of a blur because I was completely nervous the
That's
entire
cool.
time. Like,
So, are you a big comic guy?
no, I'm not a huge
Okay.
comic guy. I'm more into like. So I was talking to him about the Coed and Cambria comic,
Oh,
book, the
gotcha.
graphic novel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was into anime when I was younger, but not like into anime.
Like
I wasn't
hentai
one of
and
those
stuff
guys.
like
Yeah,
that.
no, I'm
Yeah,
not
you
into
have a
that.
body pillow or anything?
Yeah. It's called Love Pillows.
Not
sir.
anymore.
No, I really like Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop's probably my
I
favorite.
remember Cowboy
Yeah.
Bebop was fucking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I like the adult anime, like not stuff like
Like hentai.
Naruto or anything.
So
It's too adult what I'm going for, but
I can never get into hentai. See, I was fucking thinking about it. I could never get into anime. Like I remember trying with Hellsing and
Yeah.
a couple other things, and it never.
I can't watch it too much. There's only a certain few that I can watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really not a thing that I'm really into, but
I think
they were super cool. Yeah.
I think you were asking earlier though about the lyrics.
Uh-huh.
I write. I want to say like we say write like 70-30%. Like I write most of them, but he
Yeah.
writes a lot of them too.
A lot
We-
of times he'll use mine as a jumping
Yeah.
off point too.
Or a lot of the time, like I'll just write the chorus and he'll write the rest of it or something,
Yeah.
back and forth, kind of like that. And but most of the time, like as much of like I love like stuff like Death Cab for Cutie and Most Shitty Soundtrack, where like all the lyrics are like so captivating. At the same time, like I still try to think about them as just another instrument.
Yeah.
So as long as they fit, as long as it plays well, because I mean, I remember it blew my mind when I heard the Melvins Houdini album.
Oh, yeah.
And every lyric on that album just doesn't make any fucking sense. And he's even said it. He's like, I just wanted it to sound good. I don't want to, I didn't mean it to mean anything. I just wanted it to sound cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucking genius. Like,
Yeah, that's awesome.
that's really cool. So I kind of try to think about it like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, lyrics as an instrument is important because each word needs to lead into the next word. It can't just say one sentence. You have to actually think about it as
a lot of the time
this word segue into the next word. Well.
Yeah, I'll write out like a whole song, and then I'll make a guitar part for it, and then I'll just change like pretty much every word, so it still means the same thing, but just so it's said different.
For sure,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think of it. A lot of people don't really think about songwriting as hard as it is because it's not just writing words on a paper and writing a song. It's never that simple. Very rarely is it ever that simple that you just make something
You
up on the
can,
spot.
but that's just kind of vapid sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if you're playing like singer-songwriter stuff, it's easier,
Yeah.
right? If
Yeah.
it's just you and an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, but that's the band everybody talks over. In the
But you want it to
club.
kick
It's
ass.
sometimes, unless you're Frank Turner, in which case it's fucking badass.
Oh no,
That's
Frank
true.
Turner. Let me tell you about Frank Turner. He has this band called Mongol Horde.
Mongol Horde's fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
Fucking
I was at
amazing.
the
I
Frank
was
Turner
like-
show. I just hung out with him for 30 fucking
Did
minutes.
you?
2 nights
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, it's amazing.
Fucking lucky, dude.
It was amazing.
Mongol
cool
Horde's
guy.
probably one of my
Amazing.
favorite punk albums.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah,
Like
he's awesome.
Stillborn Unicorn. Fucking
Stillborn Unicorn's
amazing.
awesome. The one about the
Tapeworm Uprising.
Tapeworm Uprising is such an amazing song. If you,
Yeah.
Okay, I need to get you into Mongol Horde.
Okay.
Because Tapeworm Uprising is literally it's about Natalie Portman's tapeworm comes out and then like creates this underground revolution.
And then they all crawl into celebrities and
Yeah.
go into the UN and like take over the world.
What the fuck is this?
It's his like he like in the middle of when he was on the rise.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he had made I think Love Iron Song at that point, and maybe England Keep My Bones. Like he was starting
Yeah.
to get up there. And he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna
do
go back to the
hardcore."
basement and
Yeah.
create a hardcore band." And it's ridiculous. He's just
But
screaming. with
I
every
don't
song.
get it. Like I like everything that he does. It's just like nothing kicks it like Mongol Horde to me. So like
Yeah.
I've never.
Well, I
I've
don't
gotten,
listen to it for that. I'm really into folk music.
Okay.
So I'm looking at it from a
So,
completely
yeah.
different perspective.
Well,
That
I
makes
mean, when I
sense.
found out it was Frank Turner, I'm like, Frank Turner? Like, I've heard that name. What is
Yeah.
that guy? And then I listened to him, like, it's that?
He's amazing. I got to hang out with him after the show. We spoke for like 30 minutes out
Hell
back by
yeah.
that live wire by the dumpsters.
Yeah.
And just talked my ear off. And he talked about like I was
Nice.
talking. I brought up how he's opening for Blink-182 in the UK, which is ridiculous because Frank Turner is selling out stadiums in the UK. So like,
Yeah.
why the fuck are you opening for Blink?
Like,
So,
he's doing better.
So he was
Yeah.
So I was
Well,
talking to him.
certain bands just are fucking huge
Well,
in the UK.
he's like he told me it was all Matt Skiba that got him on. And that's what I pretty much
Oh,
figured.
okay.
And then he told me about how he always thought Matt Skiba was crazy because he was a drug addict. And then when he got off drugs later on in life, he was the exact same way. So he
Yeah.
realized he's just fucking, he's just mad, is what he
Yeah.
said.
he's just mad.
So it was, and then he
Dude.
talked about how fucking Sean Bonnet from AJJ will stay at his house in England whenever
Really?
he goes over to tour and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's funny.
like draws him pictures.
That's neat.
So cool.
Oh, right on.
Like I want to do that. I want to stay at cool people's place, like, become friends with cool people, and stay at their houses and give
Yeah.
them pictures
That's neat.
of Austin's ass.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh man.
But so how long has it been since you released something?
A year? I think it's
Well,
been a
less-
straight up year, I think.
Well, when did we release? I thought it's less than a year because I think we released it in like
March?
March or something,
I
right?
think we released it in March, yeah.
So coming up on a year.
You coming up on a year?
Yeah.
That's cool. So is it
We've-
nerve-wracking to release something new, or is it exciting?
It's
both.
I mean, the few fans we have are excited for it.
Yeah.
And then everyone else, I'm like, fuck it, you know. Like,
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I really hope it actually just catches people's
Yeah.
ears more so because, there's all that times, the people hear the bands and they don't really think second about
Yeah.
them until other people start liking them. And I want to get those early adopters that actually really like the songs. It's getting
Yeah.
that pressure that you want to have it light,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
The fans that we have that are like some of our like real close friends and like our family members and stuff who like know us from like our first albums and like our first shit that we made up till like right now, they're telling us like these songs are way better. Like these are way
Yeah.
quality wise and writing and stuff. So
So how are you doing? What are you recording them all through? Is the big
okay,
question.
so our recording setup is pretty
It's the treehouse.
It's pretty mid-range, I would say. It is the
Okay.
beautifully mid-range. We have a thing we call the treehouse. It's not a treehouse. It's a construction trailer that his dad bought him for a graduation present
Hell
that we've
yeah.
been using as a band
Whoa,
practice
whoa, whoa, whoa.
area.
Who gets? Oh, is that why? Is that what
Yeah.
you got it for
Uh-huh.
practice?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's just this
I was like,
giant-
who the fuck?
Who
Here
gets
you
it?
go.
Yeah.
Well, because they're like, get the fuck out of my house so I can
Oh,
go to
yeah,
sleep
yeah.
in the middle of the day.
Yeah, because we were trying to record it in my room where like I pretty much just exited everything of a that is living space. I just got rid of and tried
Yeah.
to make it my studio instead of my room.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really working, being really small. So they just got me a whole studio like this.
There.
It's pretty large,
Yeah.
and it's just completely full of studio junk.
That's
Yeah.
what we should
So,
do.
yeah.
We should get
So,
a fucking construction
it's
trailer.
really fucking
to
cool.
And it's
record
just
in.
just
Park it in the desert.
yeah, it's just out in the desert.
It is literally out in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There-
You
we
hear
call it
chickens when you
treehouse.
go outside.
So wait, where is
wait,
it
wait,
parked?
what
Wait,
did
hold
you
on.
say?
It's an AJ.
So is it just by itself, like in the middle of the desert?
No,
like
no,
off
it's
the-
behind
off
his
a
house.
road?
It's,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like parked off the side of
Yeah,
Apache.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's just there.
There's
a
electricity.
random-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
I
would
mean,
be fucking
So,
hilarious.
but
Yeah.
so what we have actually in the studio, it's a big room. It's just open. We've been trying to think about how we're gonna build it up to actually have like a live room and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But just always money, having to spend it on the band.
It's
always.
getting there though. It's getting
Yeah.
better. Ever since we've had it, it's been an empty room. Now it's like full out, recording area. We're just trying to, beef it up to make it better,
So yeah, the heart and soul of it is a Dell computer that his brother had that he handed it down to us because he does electronic music and he's super into production.
Yeah.
And so it has like all these beautiful plugins. We use Ableton, which is really weird
Yeah.
for a rock band to
Is
use.
it?
Yeah.
I haven't used it. Is
I
that-
love-
It's a
I love
pain in the
Ableton
ass,
Live.
and it's the most beautiful thing in the world too.
Okay, cool.
Like it's
Alright.
super intuitive, but until you figure
Yeah.
out why it's intuitive, it's completely
It's
unintuitive.
what I've learned is it's mostly made for like hip hop and mostly made for electronic music.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
I really like the way it's laid out. I really like how it is. And then he's already got all this other stuff on it, like different plugins and different all of these like fab filters and all these things, that just help us really sharpen up our sound because he's really good at making like professional sounding music, but his is electronic music. He doesn't record anything pretty much analog, you know.
Yeah.
And so trying to, he's trying to do it with us too. So he's a lot more experienced than we are, but it's also like a different direction for him. So we're all kind of learning.
Yeah.
So it all comes out kind of funky and
Learning
fun.
together is important,
Yeah.
especially when you can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's learning.
And then
together.
the biggest thing that I say is probably the holy grail. We have two things that are the holy grail of the studio. Recently, we just got an SM7B microphone,
Yes.
which is a beautiful
It's like
microphone.
over
it makes
$400 microphone.
yeah,
I think.
and it makes vocals just sound like butter.
Yeah.
You don't even have to
Wow.
process it.
Uh-huh.
Like when we did it, we literally EQ'd a little bit, even though it was already EQ'd already because it's the
Yeah.
microphone.
Yeah. It's
got, like,
and
its
some
own-
reverb and delay. That was
What does
it.
Josh have? Do you know? Josh has some nice. I don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck it is. I'm
So
not
it's not
a
even a
person.
condenser mic. It's a dynamic mic that
Uh-huh.
sounds as good as a condenser
Gotcha.
without all the extra noise, which
Wow.
is beautiful.
See, that's
yeah.
the thing about condensers is like I don't want to hear all the lip smacking.
Yeah,
and
you
shit
can't.
like that,
You
know what I
can't
mean?
like hear your nut hair.
Yeah.
Everything, dude.
Everybody has to be completely silent on the quiet parts. You're like,
yeah.
You can hear your fucking toenails
Yeah.
growing and stuff. I hate it.
and then we also we have an 8-channel audio box
There
that
you
I
go.
traded for. I had a Mesa Boogie amp that I traded it in for that.
Oh,
So
I
I
forgot
got
about
rid of the
that.
Mesa Boogie amp,
I forgot you traded it.
and it was kind of sad because it's fucking Mesa Boogie. I mean, it's a
What was
beautiful
that?
amp.
Tried it? No,
No, it was Electrodyne.
See,
Yeah.
the interface that we used is right there. That's
That's a-
the Scarlet.
that's a
something,
very good one,
something.
though.
Yeah, so it's like that, but it has 8 channels and it's blue because
all
it's
it-
pre-Sonus.
Oh, we have 8 channels and they're all in the back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Um,
Ours are all in the front. That's
Yeah, I
cool.
gotcha.
Yeah.
We have 2 in the front and then we have another like 6 in the back. 'Cause it's, yeah.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, that's really that was the hardest part for us was figuring it out
Yeah.
because none of us have any fucking idea how Josh kind of does, but he has just enough to be able
Yeah.
to kind of get you through it. But you're gonna drown a little bit on the way there. Like, it was
Yeah.
very much.
Josh
like
told me he
that.
took like a couple classes and then he was just like, "Fuck this, and we'll figure it out myself." kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
And him figuring out
It's
himself
fun
was
like that,
fucking
though.
miserable.
yeah.
It's a miserable
fucking
until
hack,
you
yeah.
know it.
Yeah, the first day
Yeah.
was really the first day of our scheduled recording was just 8 hours of fucking yelling
Yeah.
and figuring everything out and freaking out and being
Yeah.
pissed off and then not recording anything.
So
and
did you
then
guys-
the second day was everything was fine.
Yeah. So did you guys for your this newest album? Because I know you guys got one coming up or playing for your release
Yeah,
show.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So you guys recorded it yourself this time?
Everything.
Yeah.
We always do. Yeah, we
Nice.
always
Oh,
have.
okay, you always
have.
We've
Cool.
used we've used Matt Alderwood from Trouble Minds in the past. He's
Yeah.
a really good friend of ours, and I love him to death. But it just just doesn't. It's not his fault at all. He's just coming from a different place.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah.
And he makes them sound wonderful.
Yeah.
It's just not. It doesn't sound like our personality.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest thing.
We've done the
Well,
same thing because I think the first band recording we've done, we were like 17, and we've been recording ourselves ever since. But we've gone to studios, like we've gone to the Salt Mine recording place.
Downtown
that's
Mesa.
dope.
And, like,
super fucking
it's
nice. I mean, they have
fucking awesome.
a Neve board. They have
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
walls
like,
of like
yeah.
$1,000
And
compressors.
but like the same thing though, like even though it's that awesome and shit, and like they have so much cool stuff that I wish I had and everything, at the same time it's not really what we were going for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like someone else did it and we were like, oh, those are cool, but you know, we don't really
Well, I mean, you
use
only
them.
have like a day or two because you don't have money to sit in an expensive studio.
Yeah, see,
Exactly.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
We didn't want to. Again, like we aren't super good at studios either. Like it took so long for us
Yeah.
to do it. So just being under the pressure of time too, like
we would freak the
we'd
fuck
freak out. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But like for album, we're already planning out album 2, and none of which is in our set. It's all going to be completely brand new when we finally
Sweet.
start to do it. It's
Yeah.
a totally different direction. If we threw it in the set now, people would be like, "What the fuck?"
Exactly.
But that album, we're probably end up going to do studio time for that one because we're just not going to be able to pull it off ourselves.
Yeah.
'Cause it's going to be huge.
Yeah, I feel like
it's going to sound fucking really big.
Nice.
You know,
to
we
ourselves.
really got, because of the help of his brother, like, because he really is, like, he's doing some really fucking cool stuff. Like, he's doing, like, licensing music now
Yeah.
and everything like that. Like, where you have to sound just as good as a massive $1 million studio. And he's getting jobs doing it and shit. Like, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And he made this time, the album doesn't sound like it was done in a home studio.
Yeah.
It doesn't
That's
sound,
nice,
yeah,
yeah.
it sounds fucking huge, which is really cool to us. Like, it's really awesome that we finally have that sound.
And like a lot of the time, what we didn't do on the I don't know why we matched up where we figured out how to put in other songs. So like I've put in like the Distillers and Foo Fighters and other stuff, you know, and listen and compare it right next to itself, so we can sound the same frequencies, you know, that they're
That's
hitting.
awesome.
So like really helped us out this time, you know, matching up like that and getting a real good full big radio sound, you know.
Yeah.
But yet, we still always end up sounding a little bit more abrasive than everything else. But I think that's just the way we play. I mean, with the guitar tracks, I mean, we recorded with this amp called Stromberg Carlson that I bought. That was like a $300 amp, but it's like impossible
Is that
to
a
find
name
anything.
that you gave it, or is that the name?
No, that's the real name
what
on
it's
it.
called.
It's
I thought
built
you were
out of
just
a
nickname.
World War II ammo case, and it sounds
Whoa, that's
like
fucking
It just sounds like a little Jack White in a box.
Yeah.
It's like it's fucking
it
awesome.
screams and
That
it's
is
just
sick.
angry sounding.
It's so
I can't
good
wait to
sounding.
hear that.
Yeah.
It's really
Are
good.
you guys gonna play it in March?
We might. We've only used it one show, and it was a
Oh.
fucking house show, and it like it's so demolishing
Just lit the
sounding.
place on fire.
Yeah, it's so
Like,
great.
I don't know. It's an angry sounding amp. I don't know. I think the problem is though is it's not really loud enough to do unless it's like
Yeah,
a small
it's
house
mic'd.
or unless it's mic'd. Like
Gotcha.
even
Still
with the
less, no
412
mics.
cabinet.
So were you guys nervous to do a 2-piece?
No, we've been
Not
doing it ever
really.
since we started.
Really?
The
Yeah.
only thing that sucks is when we play live. I like having the extra sound going, and it makes that switching thing
Yeah.
that we do a lot less awkward.
Because
for
you
the
guys switch
audience.
instruments or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I play drums on some of them, and then he plays drums on some of them.
When you do that, are all of them placed together to the point where you don't have to keep getting up from the drums, or do you guys just do it?
Oh, they're placed
Whenever.
together. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
so
cool.
like in the middle of the set. So people who don't know us kind of just like get a little freaked out. Like,
Yeah.
because it's like him playing 3 or 4 songs, and then we just stop and switch.
Yeah, he plays.
and
3
then
or
I
4
just
songs,
start playing my 3 or 4 songs,
and then we finish with a couple more of mine.
Yeah,
Is it awkward, like the switch
Very.
part? It's
Very awkward,
right?
yeah.
We try to make it awkward.
on
But-
purpose, but it's
But as a
some-
2-piece, we found a looper pedal we got
There
this
you
time.
go.
Yeah.
So it's coming together. We're working it around. You know.
So how do you get around? Like, okay, so when it comes to 2-pieces, I don't really know a whole lot as far as how they do it. I know plenty of 2-pieces, and I've listened to plenty of
Yeah.
it, but I don't know.
Oh, it's hard.
How do you get around like the sounding empty without like a bass behind it?
Yeah.
EQing.
The EQing.
EQing.
Mostly EQing. Yeah.
I mean, we've been using a Mesa Boogie amp forever, which is always really thick sounding
Yeah.
as it is.
Yeah.
And usually you have to argue with a little bit with the sound guy, slip him a 10 and be like, come
Yeah.
on, dude, help us out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's a big thing about EQing. It's a big thing about getting your drums tuned right, which probably Austin knows about.
I get, yeah.
Yeah, fucking sound guys will love you automatically if your snare doesn't have a bunch of overtone ringing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll love you for it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't sound like shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's just about being able to push everything up louder is what makes it not sound empty. Because you think, you listen to certain bands like the White Stripes, they're a two-piece. But they were the loudest band probably at most.
Same with
venues.
like the Black Keys. Like they never have a spot that sounds hollow.
Yeah.
The Black Keys have always been just 2-piece.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a pedal board.
Well, live,
out the fucking zoo,
I mean, they use other people now, or they have for the last few years anyway.
Yeah. Ever since
but they don't get spotlight. They don't get
I think me and Curt, I mean, like when we had Cameron, our last bassist, he there's nothing wrong with him and his playing is great and like we get along just fine. It's just the fact that like I don't know, I think me and Curt are we understand how anal we are with each other.
Yeah.
And then
it's really hard to meld into the whole idea that we know exactly where we're going, because when we play live, we play the songs differently too.
Okay.
Yeah,
like
so
we switching, we adding extra stops and pulls and everything like that.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's hard for other people.
It's irritating as shit, but we get it together. Like it's hard. Yeah.
It's never too late to add shit. Like I remember, I'm a huge Oingo Boingo fan.
Okay.
I love New Wave.
Right on.
So
Right
I
on.
fucking love them. So I was watching their farewell live DVD that they did, and there's a bunch of behind the scenes set where they're setting up and sound checking and stuff. And during sound check, Danny, who's such a fucking psycho, is like, "Oh no, hey, do it this way, do this way," and he arranged a whole new part of the song, and the drummer's like, "It's the last show we'll ever play together, but it's not too late to add new shit."
That's awesome.
I thought that was so cool. How it's like, fuck it, like we're still not gonna play it the same way.
Yeah, we're still gonna play it.
Yeah.
And it's really cool for those fans that like know your songs by heart, that they're like, they didn't do it the way I thought they were gonna.
And
do.
the people that have
cool.
heard it for the first time, they don't know any fucking better.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's
They're just
true.
like
plus,
me.
when you're in a local band and you're at when you're at a certain level,
Exactly.
it's everyone's new.
Yeah.
So,
people won't even remember the same song that you've been playing. They hear it differently one time, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, that song was really cool. Have you guys played that before?" And you're like, "We've been playing it for like a year."
Definitely.
We just played a little different.
But you can't. It's the biggest thing is like I used to get mad about it when I was younger about stuff like that and like what people would compare bands to you and everything like that. But as I've gotten older, I like it now. Like it's nice hearing that people actually gave a shit. That's the biggest thing.
For sure.
Yeah, like when you're younger, you're like, no, I wanted to sound exactly like Brand New, and nobody got that.
Yeah.
And it's like now I'm like, if anybody just likes it, I'm getting compared to good bands. So
Like, you don't want to sound like any. I mean, at least me. Like, I would never want to sound like anybody else unless it was some super conscious effort to as a throwback, like that band the Apaches. Yeah. Like if I wanted to sound like the Ventures on purpose and play bars as a genre band, that's rad.
Yeah.
But I would never do something truly from my heart, like artistic, and want it to sound like somebody else. But compare it to amazing bands.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like,
well, I think I get lucky in that aspect because anytime I've ever tried to write anything like a band, it always comes out sounding completely fucking different.
Yeah.
It never comes out sounding just like that.
Which is
band.
good. Yeah. That means that you have your own mind and style that you're going for, which is really, really important.
Yeah.
So when do you have an idea of when the new album's gonna come out?
March 7th is kind of our tentative release date, but it just really depends.
Shit.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Dude, we're neck
Yeah.
and neck. That's so good.
Yeah, everybody just buy the album together, you know?
I know.
That'd actually be kind of cool.
Here's the thing, though.
Bundle deal.
Push it to March 4th.
Yeah.
But it's your album release show. We're not going to dick you guys out of it.
Yeah.
Put you in
guys-
small letters,
yeah,
also
yeah.
releasing an album.
Yeah.
Well, then
It's your
you
guys' release show. We're not even going to talk about it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's all you guys.
No,
like,
then
no,
you-
one to come
no,
over.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
And then after that, then you guys got to open for our release show.
Fuck yeah.
There you go.
That'd be
Let's do
rad.
that. That's cool.
That would be super rad. What is your preferred thing? Because I know with me, I prefer playing venues that are really intimate and really close to the audience.
Hell yeah.
I don't like being on a huge stage unless there's a huge crowd, which they're never fucking.
Oh, yeah, no. We played the marquee to an empty fucking room. That was the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like up there
Well,
and
there
you're
was like 15 or 20 people, but
But yeah, marquee,
in the
the
marquee,
though.
like
Yeah.
you're in a house and 15, 20 people, you're like, fuck yeah, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly. But the marquee,
Yeah,
that's
you're
like
like-
1,200 cap or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
so we just
15
went on tour pretty recently, and in Seattle we played this really cool restaurant, and like we ate there first, and we were talking to people, and like this is fucking cool, like we were all excited for it, and we got on stage. It was like a pretty tall stage, and then like everyone just sat there and just watched and was like okay, and we were like
Really
fuck, this
weird.
blows. And then the last day we were in Colorado, and and we were in this house show where it was fucking jam packed. There probably was only like.
Have you guys
15
played
people.
with a band? What the fuck is their name? What's the name of the band that we played? It was the guy who ran the house. His name is Jared. He's the
They call
guitarist.
head injuries.
Head
Head
injuries.
Injuries,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
our first band toured with him.
Yeah, yeah.
TSR,
Really
yeah,
fucking
they're
cool
really
guys.
nice.
He's the one that
threw-
ran the house show for us.
We
Cool.
were in his house, and it was like packed with people, and everyone was just going ape shit. Like it was just
Yeah.
so much more fun. So
Yeah.
I'd prefer that. I'd say.
So okay, cool. So this puts us on a really big topic of conversation, which is the drummer of Head Injuries is setting up our Colorado tour,
Yeah.
which is rad because like Head Injuries is a fucking great band. We
yeah.
played
Oh,
with
yeah.
them before, and they're
They're
amazing.
bitchin'.
Like
They're
they
just
played
so
a giant
real punk that I fucking love
Yeah,
it. Like,
they
Yeah.
played a giant role in Austin and Josh's life and their old band.
Cool.
But I want to talk about Colorado because we're going to Colorado in March and don't really know what to expect. Like none of us have been there before.
everybody's really fucking cool.
All we know,
Everybody's high.
Yeah, so,
everybody's
okay.
high and everybody's really cool.
So that the two things that I heard was don't give all your energy in the first two songs.
Yeah, no.
And
They keep
that
going.
you get drunk quicker. Those are the two things that I heard because the altitude.
Yeah,
those are the two things I heard.
Be careful of your beer consumption. 'Cause
Okay.
you get too drunk, especially as a drummer, you know that feeling.
Yeah.
You're too drunk, you start sucking really bad.
Yeah.
But so
One time Austin got high on accident just off of like me and Josh smoking, and the timing was perfect all night long.
yeah. So here's
Oh,
the
man,
thing
yeah.
about places like Arizona. You get tired like instantaneously when it's 110 degrees out. People don't rock out as hard here
Yeah.
because you have to conserve your fucking energy.
Uh-huh.
Nothing has ACs in most of the venues. Like it gets really sweaty and gross all the time. But places like Colorado, people just keep moshing the entire time during the
That's
show.
Sweet.
cool.
Yeah, it's just a constant.
I'm excited. We're playing Surfside 7. We're playing Deer Pile. We're playing a couple of places. I don't know everything yet. It's almost 100% booked. I'm really fucking excited. Cause, okay, the
Is
other
it
thing,
just you guys?
we're touring by ourselves, but obviously there's like support bands, but we're the only ones going.
Damn. We'll go.
Next time we're gonna bring a band, but this time we're already booked because I really just want to bring a band so we can use somebody else's fucking like tour stuff, like van.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna have to rent a fucking van. It's just be so expensive. Like I don't
Any
know.
of you 23?
Huh?
Any of you 23?
I'm 23.
Yeah, okay, you'll be fine then. It's a
Really?
lot
I
cheaper
thought it was
for you.
25.
No, it's 23. It's cheaper.
Really?
Hey.
But I wonder if we'll be able to get a fucking like 12 passenger. Because here's the thing.
They
we
have
went-
services just for bands. So you know that, right? Like
No.
if you just Google it, they have band vans. that
Really?
you can buy, Yeah.
so because
Like Green Van. Green Van's one of them that a lot of bands use.
So we went to A1 Vans. Yeah, my girlfriend. We went to A1 Vans in Phoenix, and they were like, "Oh yeah, until you're a certain age, you can only get our minivan."
Oh.
So we toured in a minivan, but I don't remember what that certain age was. Alicia, my girlfriend's coming in right now. What up? You can chill. All right.
Is there
All
any,
right.
Is there any point I can go to the bathroom?
Oh, you can go to the bathroom right now.
yeah, go.
Okay.
Go. We'll hold it out. We'll talk shit about you while you're gone.
Yeah.
So let's
that guy's
fucking
a
singers.
fucking
Fuck them.
asshole.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. But
Oh,
on
I'm a
your
singer.
left. Sorry. Door on your left.
Fuck Cameron Graves
Yeah, you just slid it.
and that shitty ass beard thing you
So
got.
fuck. Wait. So there's van companies that will give you deals for being in a band, or there's like places just for that.
Yeah, so like look up like Green Van and stuff like
Green
that.
Van.
It's pretty expensive just because it's renting a car for a
Well,
week or whatever.
obviously.
Yeah. So I mean, it gets pricey. But
Did you guys do that for yours, or did you have?
No, man. I drove my truck and we went with Westbrook, which is a cool.
I know
band
them.
here in the local. Yeah,
Mhm. I
cool
know that
fucking
band
guys,
name.
Super cool. I ate more vegan food than I probably wanted to because they're 2 out of 3 of them are vegan. So
That's a pain in the ass. That's a pain in the ass.
Too much Taco Bell, and I kept telling him, I was like, guys, gotta stop. They don't have bathrooms all the time.
Wait, how do they? Wait, they're vegans, but they go to Taco Bell?
Well, Taco Bell is completely vegan friendly. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
They have a whole menu. It's like Fresca menu that is all vegan.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want more to drink?
Oh, I'll make my own. It'll be fine. Thank you
Yeah,
though.
I fucking like tried to put. I'm an idiot, and I was gonna put the soda. Listen, I was gonna put the soda in before the Jack, and the first time I meet him, he's like, no. I was like, sorry, dude. Here, you fucking. I don't know what I'm doing.
I didn't mean it rude.
I
was
don't
just
really
like,
drink.
Dude, no.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
I'm gonna have to use a
No,
spoon.
no,
or
no, dude. That
something.
first impression's made. But no, shit.
I
But-
used to be a bad alcoholic, not as much anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
You're too
Well,
young to have been an
No,
alcoholic.
not alcoholic, but I drank way too much than I ever should have.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
What? Yes. Using a laptop
All
right
right.
now.
So,
So
What were we
green
talking
van.
about?
I'm gonna have to. We'll have to look.
Oh, we're
into
talking
that,
about the
'cause
bands.
that
We're
sounds rad.
talking
Yeah.
about bands.
Seat for
Okay.
you, buddy.
So,
Thanks.
Farted on.
have you ever been on a tour before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We went on
okay.
Toronto too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we know that.
That was
how
our
it
first
works.
tour, and we learned everything that will go wrong does go fucking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, we called our first tour the Murphy's Law tour.
Yeah,
Because
that's
everything
ours
went
was,
wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had fucking like literally we
Here
had
we go, Toy
3
Stories.
shows. We had 3 shows drop the day that we left.
Oh shit.
So it went from like having like 8 dates to having 4, but
Fuck.
they were spaced out because the
Yeah.
tour was booked. And so 3 out of the days in San Francisco, we tried to find a show, couldn't find a fucking show. So we're like, fuck it, we're just gonna drive to Portland.
Yeah, because the first day we were like, it's okay, because like, you know, whatever, we're not in Arizona, it's fun, you know. So
Yeah.
The second day we were like, shit, we need to get something together.
Yeah.
By the third day we were like, all right, we're gonna fucking strangle somebody if we don't get a
Just
show,
busk.
you know.
I mean, I would just be busking.
What's
at
your
that
third
point.
day?
Pissed.
Third day was in Portland, and we were walking around for 8 hours that day trying to find a fucking
Yeah.
show because our show busted out.
Yeah.
And so we're walking around asking every fucking bar and asking every place that could even like a coffee shop, bookstores, anywhere.
Open mic, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything.
So we did, and we didn't find anybody.
Well, Portland is super cool and super artsy, and like I love it there, but it's also very niche.
Yeah.
Like if you're not in it, you're not in
Yeah.
it.
They, I think because of Portlandia came out, which they're very offended by, which it is exactly
Really?
like that. It is exactly like Portlandia.
No one should be offended by comedy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know, but especially people like Portland.
Yeah, I know.
I saw a woman breastfeeding with one arm, like while she's carrying a bunch of bags, like walking down the road. I'm like, "You go, girl."
That's hilarious.
But,
Some of that.
Oh man.
So
Yeah, so we're walking around for 8 hours, and then we just hear punk music coming from
yeah,
somewhere.
like totally like old school, like some
Some Bad Brain sound and shit, and we were
Yeah.
just like, "This is awesome. Where is this coming from?" And it's just this dude's basement with like these like 4 drunk old guys.
Yeah,
and like
so we knock on the door. They our bassist and the singer of the other band go and knock on the door because we didn't all want to walk up. They'd be like, "Why the fuck is there 8
Yeah.
dudes right now?" What the fuck?
It's gonna be good now, boys.
And his girlfriend answered, and she's like, "No, hey, how's it going?" And they're like, "Hey, so we were just wondering if you guys know any places that like have shows tonight, or
Yeah.
we can hop on or anything."
Yeah.
Like we had a band like tour and everything, and she goes and grabs the guys. The guys come out and they like start asking a few questions, and immediately the guitarist is just on the phone with fucking everybody that he
That's
could ever
awesome.
know.
Like,
Doesn't
all
even
the
know our
venues.
fucking name of our bands
That's
yet.
cool.
And he's like, "I got these 2 guys that are out on tour and their show fell through. We need to find a show." And he's calling. Nobody has a
Yeah.
show that night though.
Yeah.
he got us pretty damn close. Like
Yeah.
it was awesome that he put through all the effort. We were just like, "Holy shit!" Like
See,
this
but
guy's
now you
really-
have a story of fucking
Yeah.
around in Portland
Yeah.
trying to find a show.
And it got
Yeah.
even better though because he just said, "Well, since we can't find you a show, you want to fucking just like jam in our basement?"
Yeah. And
For
so we had
us,
a house
yeah.
show.
That's cool.
So we still performed in Portland. It was
Yeah.
just in this dude's basement, and then
With a
we
few
watched them
people.
play too. So
Yeah.
there were this band called the Stims,
Yeah.
and they were fucking so spot on. They were so gnarly. I loved it.
Just old school
Yeah.
punk band. Like it was fucking great to see it. The guy literally had Johnny Ramone's guitar cabinet.
Yeah.
That's
Had
awesome.
his Marshall cabinet.
Yeah.
He had a picture of it and he's like, "This amp."
That's fucking rad, dude.
I think he was like, "It's also Joe Walsh's head," but nobody's that
Oh,
impressed.
whoa.
I don't give a
See,
shit.
everybody's
No
just kind of
one
like,
fucks
"Oh,
Joe
that's
Walsh.
cool," but
Yeah.
it's like Johnny Ramone though.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what was the drive to Colorado like? Is it a lot of like no service, just mountains? Like what's
Oh, it depends. Are you going up to
we're
Colorado?
going up to
From
Colorado.
Arizona.
Okay,
Yeah.
so up to Colorado is going to be fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until you get to mountain passes, and there's going to be service on your cell phones, but you're not going to want to look down on it. You're going to feel like you're going to die the entire
Well, yeah, of course.
You're climbing a fucking mile. Like, it's
Yeah.
scary.
God, yeah.
I mean, I went to Colorado a lot when I was younger, and I love it. And like pretty much anywhere you go, it's not bad.
Okay.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, and then for music scene wise, when we were with the guy from Head Injuries, he was saying that places like Pagosa Springs and then like not as city as places, you know, just a little more places. He said those places are blowing up with pop punk for some reason.
Huh, weird.
So yeah, they're getting a lot better. I think if there's more schools and colleges and stuff going out,
Yeah.
popping up around those places, so they're really getting into it.
See, we want to play Boulder because I know that's like a big like
Yeah.
college town. But I think we've got Fort Collins Colorado Springs,
Yeah, Fort
and
Collins
Denver.
is where we were. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we played.
Yeah.
That place kicks ass.
In Colorado Springs and Denver.
Fort
So.
Collins looks podunky until you get to the downtown area.
Really?
Like, it
Okay,
totally
cool.
looks like, some dude was be whittling on his sidewalk until you get to downtown because it's a college town.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's all.
Then it turns into
cultural
like
all of a sudden.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's
More
exciting.
vegan restaurants than Circle K's,
Oh, shit.
That's rad. So wait, how do you know they're vegan restaurants? Are they called like
Oh, there's a lot.
Vegans Plus? Like, how can you tell?
No,
Like,
Yeah.
they're very secretive about it until you get in there and you'd be like, oh, there's no meat on this menu.
oh, yeah, gotcha. So I'm gonna be fucked because
Yeah,
I'm almost 100% a carnivore.
It's all really.
like I am seriously. I'm not an omnivore.
Yeah.
I'm straight
I
carnivore.
always
Me
think
too,
of it as
dude.
like that video
Yeah.
of like if vegans act, or if meat eaters acted like vegans.
Yeah,
Have you seen
yeah.
that on YouTube? On YouTube, that guy's hilarious.
No,
Yeah.
but like really, like vegan food there is better than here. It is.
Okay.
It is a lot better. It's just it never fills me up.
Yeah, here's the problem with it. It tastes
the-
fucking delicious, but you're on the road and you don't want to keep having to eat.
Exactly.
You're really short on money.
And it
Yeah.
blows out your ass like harder than anything.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
So nutritious, and your body just takes it all in. It's like, all right, we're done.
Yeah, no, yeah.
In like 2 hours, and you're like, God, I'm
We're gonna
fucking
have to like
starving.
bring like bread and jerky.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh yeah, bring as much snacks as you possibly can.
Yeah,
like,
okay, cool. I'll be prepared for that because that's the thing. Was we're like, I don't know what to expect.
Oh, sleep in your van too. There's no Walmart parking lots.
That's
You're
I
gonna
was
get
yes, that's what I'm talking about. I've been talking about that forever. How we're just gonna find a wall, but that's the thing. Like we need to make sure we get like a band van, like a 12 to 14 passenger, because we're not gonna fucking sleep in a minivan like that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have
I don't
to
know,
get an
man.
actual
We
van.
did it. We did it. In our
Really?
truck.
Fucking
Yeah.
truck.
But you've got two
half-
people.
Two of the guys. Well,
Oh, you have two
at
other
the
people with
time,
you?
We had 3 people.
Okay,
at the
gotcha.
time. And then the 3 people in the other band that had they had
Oh,
a
shit.
minivan.
Gotcha.
But on the second day, the singer broke the passenger side chair. Like broke
Really?
the
So the
handle. So it was like
See-
just forward.
So I was thinking about like we're gonna hit up some people and see if like with their connections we can sleep on like couch surf. It's either like couch surf, Airbnb, or just straight up sleeping in Walmart parking lots because
Yeah.
they don't sweep.
No,
they don't
dude,
sweep the
save
parking
the money
lots.
from Airbnb. Just use the fucking Walmart
Well,
parking
yeah.
lots. It's really
Airbnb-
not that bad, man.
Yeah.
Once you get used to it, it's really.
I've heard Airbnb is really reliable as well, though.
Yeah, that's
What
what.
is Airbnb?
It's a Craigslist for sleeping at people's places.
Yeah.
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 It seems shady as fuck, but it's like my brother. He said he's done it actually.
Really?
It's like they literally. It's kind of like how bed and breakfasts are and shit.
Yeah.
Just
you go in,
less-
check in,
yeah.
and then you just leave.
Yeah, well, my girlfriend who's not on mic did that in Europe. She Airbnb'd through fucking like Amsterdam and shit. So it's like if you don't
It's way
get killed in
cheaper than a
Amsterdam,
hotel. I mean,
Oh,
people
yeah.
don't
Oh,
have the
fuck yeah.
overhead and everything. It's just where they live.
But it's also not free like sleeping in a car.
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, we're gonna figure it out. We're not gonna be bringing too much, but The Rock.
Yeah.
So
Showers are amazing
Hello-
on
hello.
tour.
yeah, where did you shower? Just like
We had a few places that we were staying
Cool.
at. in
We did a
between.
river once.
see, I
Yeah,
heard
that's
that.
cool.
I heard that if you should get a gym membership to some giant conglomerate, that way you can just go to like LA Fitness.
To just
That's how you
rinse
get
off,
athletes
yeah.
put on tour, though.
Yeah.
That's how you get MRSA, and then you have more problems.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. You're right. So yeah, we'll just have to like hang out somewhere.
Ebola.
Or like, have you guys? I'm sure you've seen it before. Like, but venue showers. Like, have you seen the showers at the Nile?
Oh my
There's
god.
showers in the night.
Yeah, have you seen them before?
No.
They're
what?
okay. So
Wait,
Are
like in the
are
bathroom?
they in the bathrooms?
you've
Yeah.
seen them, right? Because they're
Because they
right
just
by
look like
check-in.
they're crawling with STDs.
Well, listen, the and I could be wrong, but the showers at the Nile are right by the fucking the ticket booth, right? Yeah, okay. So you go in, and it's by
Oh.
the bathrooms on your left, and
So,
they
yeah,
are
I have
fucking
seen those. They're
disgusting.
sick, yeah,
Yeah,
they're ugh.
it's like Silent Hill. It's fucking disgusting.
Oh, man.
You're gonna
So-
see a pyramid head just
Yeah.
in the corner, like.
I would imagine that's what people do in that.
I mean, I would rather
shower.
fuck in there than shower in there. I don't know. It's really so. I want to stay away from venue bathrooms, especially the venues we're gonna be playing. You
Oh
guys
yeah, no,
soon.
you don't
Yeah.
go in the venue bathroom. What was it? The Salty Frog in San Diego. Super. Cool
That's where I
place.
want to shower.
Yeah.
The Salty Frog.
No, their urinal was literally just this copper trough that just had a shit ton of ice in it. I'm pretty sure like the plumbing was just outside
the
to the
fuck?
plants.
Oh man. Or like
Alright.
some creepy guy in a snorkel on the other side.
Yeah, just like.
Loving it.
He was doing Jankum.
Wait, what?
Okay.
You know what Jankum is?
No,
Oh,
dude.
my god.
So you
Okay.
get a 2 liter. You get. This isn't from experience. You get a 2 liter and you piss and shit in it and leave
Oh
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
called-
know,
I've heard
ferment.
that called- I've heard
let
it's
it
called
ferment,
something else.
ferment for a few days. Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that
Fucking-
referred to as something else, but I
Yeah,
totally
I
get you.
Jacob,
not
I
about-
think is my favorite though. Jacob is my favorite name.
Jacob
for
is
it.
great.
I'm
I
not
like
about
that.
to huff some doo-doo.
Isn't that called cheesing? Isn't that also what they
Cheesing,
call it in
yeah.
South Park?
Cheesing's the
Yeah.
other one,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. That's what I thought. I was like, this sounds familiar. I was like, how? Yeah, okay.
Who
So
thought of the word cheesing for that? I guess
I don't fucking know, but
Makes me not want cheese.
That makes me want.
cut the
cheese.
cheese makes me not want cheese as well. Though. I don't know why they always use gross stuff for cheese.
Leave cheese alone.
So what's your favorite Toy Story?
Oh shit. I don't know. Cameron woke up with bugs in his beard.
Wait,
What?
No, that was the one waking up in a parking lot in Portland in front of a fucking school. Yeah. Okay, so it was like a church.
Okay.
And so we're getting there. And so we slept in there. There was literally nobody there. It was in this really nice suburb, but it said free parking overnight. It was 4 homeless people that lived in their car to sleep there because, places like Portland, super expensive to live.
Yeah.
We have it. But we have 6 gross dudes. We wake up and there's these kids playing in a fucking school bus that wasn't there the day before. And we're like in the wilderness and stuff. There's no bathrooms to go to. It's all houses and one church. So there's no public restroom to go into. And so there's these kids playing around and everything. We're like having to hide behind my truck to go piss and we're like brushing our teeth. And I wonder what these kids are thinking in their head. Like they're just seeing these like young dudes like brushing their teeth and fucking, like trying to get ready. Like,
They're like,
Yeah.
look, vagabonds.
like bad homeless people.
Yeah.
Like that was a good one. What else
Dude,
did
we
do?
were in Tucson once, and there was. So we parked. We stayed at this Motel 6, right? Motel 8, Motel 6. I think it was Motel 6. So Motel 6, and we parked right next to the window where our room was. Bottom floor was super convenient. So we would just pop in and out of the window. We would just climb out the window.
Right.
And I remember this little girl, and I saw. Do you remember the picture of it?
Yeah.
So there's this little girl, because I took a video of Josh like jumping out of the window, whatever, for some kind of video. And this little girl, he jumps out the window, grabs something, and then like throws it into the hotel room and then jumps in. And you see this little girl walk by, just looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it was this little black girl. She's like, you little crack ass motherfucker. Like, what are you doing? Like, it was like I have the picture on my phone, so I'm
That's
just
so
this
funny.
harsh stink eye. Like,
Just
what the
what the
fuck?
hell are you doing?
Like,
she wasn't with it.
That's awesome.
she was not having it at
Yeah,
all.
she was like, fuck this guy.
I think my least favorite story was the day we got back in Arizona.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
I
What
know
was
this
the
story.
No.
Me and Curt, he still had equipment in his truck, and I was following him. I got my car, and I was following him back to the treehouse to get our equipment back in there. And we get in this like fucking 3-car pileup on the freeway, like trashes some of our gear, and it was like, this is a great way to enter Arizona again. Like we just went to all these
fucking
awesome places.
Day after we left
Yeah.
the stuff with the other band because we left a day early.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they arrived the next night.
Spent the night, and
Yeah.
then we drove through the night
Yeah.
because we just wanted to get home.
So we
Like,
just
I
picked
had
it
to
up.
fucking work like
So we
2
just picked
days
up our
from then,
equipment.
so I wanted to be able to sleep and stuff.
Yeah.
That was bogus.
God, but we got in a car accident right after, totaled all the cars.
Murphy's
broke
Law,
some
man.
fucking-
I was like, why'd we come back?
we drove 13,000 miles or something crazy.
Yeah.
Like 1,300 miles, no problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't
Come
get any.
back home.
That
Just
sucks.
fucking
It's pretty
sold both
fantastic
of
though.
our
We didn't
cars.
have any like police officer or any like issues with that or any like.
Oh yeah, the cop liked punk rock and we gave him one of our albums.
Nice. Fuck
Because he
yeah.
had us sit in the back of the cop car. The only time I've ever sat in the back of the cop car. I've done things that I probably should have been sitting in the back of the cop car. But
Yeah.
Dude, so I've never been arrested or anything like that. But one time we got she knows. I'm gonna tell this story. So one time we were driving. Fuck it, I'm just gonna tell it. So we were driving and I was smoking weed like in the passenger seat as we were driving, and yeah, and we're on the 10. We're going down, and someone fucking just straight up just rapes the back of our car, just slams us, and I was like, oh fuck, like I'm smoking weed like right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, here, smoke the cigarette. Let's get the fucking windows down. Let's get this taken care of. Because I was like, you can't. If you're gonna talk, then you need to come over here and talk. Okay. So we're chilling and we're freaking out. The cops end up coming and I'm like, okay, I have to do something with my bowl. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I need to figure something out right now. And I look down and we just got back from Wendy's and I have this giant fucking cup of Wendy's. It was a grape Sprite, right? And I was like, all right, well,
Sprite at Wendy's?
well, because they have the giant,
The freestyle.
the freestyle.
Oh,
one. So
okay.
I was like, so I was like, oh
Well, that was
shit.
specific
So I was like,
flavor.
all right, well, I love this bowl, but here you go. And I just put it in the fucking cup.
There you go.
The whole time. I just held onto the cup the whole time. The cops were there. Huh?
Best bowl ever.
Okay, yeah, best bowl ever. But check, so here's the problem. So I was like, it took us like an hour and a half, 2 hours to get everything done with and to get picked up and to be over with. So the whole time it's just sitting in my drink. But I need to avert suspicion because I'm high, so I'm paranoid as it is, and I'm dealing with all these police officers. So my
So
whole
you're being fine, but in your head, you're doing the worst job.
so
you
and
possibly
I have my
could.
sunglasses on, and it's like 8 o'clock at night. Cause so I end up fucking. I'm in the back of the cop car, and I'm like, okay, all he's seeing is me hold on to this full cup and not drinking out of it. I'm just nursing. I'm just holding on to it the whole time. So I just start drinking it. And
So you're just drinking weed.
I start drinking and so at first it's fine. There's a couple like little leaves coming in my mouth. There's a couple ashes every once in a while, but it's okay for the most part. I'm suffering through it. It's gonna be fine.
There you go.
And then like an hour passes, and it's just fermenting inside this drink. So eventually,
It starts smelling like
it's
it.
my breath is worse than it was to begin with. So I'm sitting there just like, thank you, officer, for taking us. Like talking like down, and I was getting more cotton mouth and probably getting even higher, like ingesting it that way. And then by the end of it, I just like threw it away in a trash can. But I remember the only time I was in the back of a cop car was I was just holding onto this bowl. Like it's right here. Like
Dude, you're already strapped. Like, if you knew, you'd be fucked. You're already in the car.
yeah.
Dang.
That was fucked up. That was really
That's
scary.
lucky though.
That was really lucky.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was fucking terrifying. But it probably wasn't even going to be that big of a deal. It was just the idea of like, I don't know how, everything was fine. The cop was cool. It was just another, fender bender for them. So you said you were in a band before, but you didn't want to say the band name. Is it because the band name's lame, or?
No, because we don't like the most
Oh,
of
you
the
don't
people.
you don't
that we
associate with them anymore?
Yeah.
That's cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It was cool. Like
You
all
can
the
ask
way.
any questions about it. I mean, I just don't want to say the
What's the
band name.
band name?
Austin knows
I
it.
know the name.
Austin knows it? Okay, we'll talk about it after.
They're called. No, I'm just
Don't care
No,
that
but-
much, I guess. Yeah.
I think
Well,
we've all been in bands in
I
the
think-
past that we're not happy about.
I don't care to an extent, but at the same time, there was like a lot of aggression when we all had the falling out, and it was just like, don't use the songs you had already in that band, and they said like, don't use our name, don't use that, like.
They got all butthurt.
That's
that
why
had songs
we
that
considered-
we were
yeah.
working on. We didn't play them with anybody.
That's
like,
why we
for the
considered it starting fresh, because we were like, fuck all that, like we're not gonna like even be associated with it.
Weren't you the
basically.
singer?
Is it Dalskin? Is
Oh,
that the
yeah.
band that you're from? Is it
What?
Dalskin? Is that the
Dalskin,
band that
no.
you're in?
Oh god. Nope.
Lotion in the basket. Yeah. But no, so I was guitar player and he was the other guitar player and singer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There was 5 members, and it was just hectic as shit.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
See, we're gonna end up adding.
Like it could have worked. I liked it. I liked a lot of it, and then
'Cause the sound was really good when it was tight.
Yeah.
it was
When it
just
was
really hard
on
to
it,
work.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just really hard to work with 5 people.
See,
I
that's
mean,
the
it's
thing.
hard to work with him. It's
Yeah,
you know,
no,
it's
I
just like
understand.
just one person.
No, he's really
It's fucking-
unlikable. I get it. No, I'm just
No.
kidding.
Yeah,
But
fuck that guy. Fuck
Yeah.
that guy.
But see, that's the thing with us is we need to add, instead of adding, like I said, because our music's about to change and get really like all over the place.
Okay.
But when that happens, instead of just adding a bunch of members, we're just gonna add one guy who's way better at 1,000 instruments than we are at any of ours.
Yeah.
Like we're just gonna get one aux guy who just sit in a little square of shit and he can do all the everything.
There you
Why
go.
is it gonna be in a wall of shit?
Well, because like you know what I mean. Because the aux guy is always like in a
You
little
sit in this
barrier.
shithole.
Like, yeah, you sit here. You just
Sit in
fuck
the
it.
shit.
Spit on him
you.
and whip him
got
and
the-
shit.
Yeah. We came in the basement, like let out the gimp.
Yo, initiation. Sit in this shit.
He's like, can't play congos with these
With these
handcuffs.
handcuffs on.
He plays
I
the
didn't
ball-
expect you to just
He's
talk.
really good at harmonizing, even with that ball gag in his mouth.
Yeah, Oh man,
I'm
that
excited
would be
for this.
awesome. I would like to hear. I want to hear a ball gag guy
Oh,
in the
dude,
back,
there is
like
a band
Swans.
that. What is that? The
Gigi Allen?
Mentors?
Gigi Allen, yeah.
No, it's the guy that says that he killed Kurt Cobain and the Courtney Love hired him. It's the Mentors.
I know that, yeah.
Yeah, they literally dress
Oh,
up.
is that the
lady on the street. Your ass looks so sweet. You don't have to leave on the streets anymore.
That band played
Oh
such a
my
pivotal role in our early existence. We were always singing that song. Played it on the streets street. Oh, it's so funny, dude. So that guy says he killed Kurt Cobain.
Yeah,
What's the story there?
in the movie Curt and Courtney, the really bad documentary.
Yeah.
Fucking Kurt Cobain killed himself.
Yeah,
Get
I know.
over it.
Yeah, I agree.
He wanted to fucking blow his brains out.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if somebody killed him, he still wanted to die anyways. It's
Yeah,
still his
he
path.
tried to kill himself not too long before it even happened
Yeah.
in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's like, but so that's his whole thing. Is like a gimmick. He's just saying that he killed Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, because he was friends with Courtney Love.
Gotcha.
Which, of course, that's who Courtney Love would be friends with.
Yeah.
Right.
That is fucking hilarious.
Courtney loves his friends.
Yeah.
I mean, the only good songs that Courtney Love had were the ones that were obviously helped with by Kurt Cobain.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like,
Yeah.
You notice that the whole best part of their career was when Kurt Cobain and her were married?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those songs are great, but they just sound like Nirvana songs almost.
Oh,
You mean
much.
that? You mean that one? What is it? Celebrity Skin, the one
Yeah.
that has the guitar riff that's used for so many songs.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
You know who helped write that one?
What?
Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh
Really?
yeah, that's another one. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, she dated Billy Corgan.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
I thought that was the Bikini Kill girl.
No,
No.
the girlfriend
Success.
Toby Vale dated Kurt
dated
Cobain.
Kurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, dude. Look,
She's the best.
me and Austin's got
Get
this,
into
man.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, get into it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
Austin's the fucking grunge lord.
Hey,
You know what? Though? Like,
nobody else likes Mudhoney.
oh my god. That was me in 8th grade. I was like, why don't you?
Why doesn't nobody listen?
What is touch me? I'm sick.
See, I don't know much
Why does
at all.
nobody
I just know
like
the music.
Finally, someone
Or
who
this
gets
band.
it.
Why
Where
does
you when I
nobody
was in
like
middle
Dinosaur
school?
Jr.? Come on, guys.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How come you haven't heard all 90 tracks of the unreleased Nirvana box set?
Yeah, that's so fucking awesome. Dude with the Light Tail's my favorite album.
Hey, but on the real though, disc 2 is my favorite.
No, dude, I'm all about just one, man, because all the
that's the
Bleach
early
songs.
shit.
Yeah, fucking Mr. Buttersworth and like Pen Cap
Oh
Shoe.
my god.
Just to clarify.
And it's the guy from the Melvins drumming on most
Yeah,
of that shit
yeah,
in the early
yeah.
days, so super
Oh.
heavy.
Yeah, they're good.
That's
They're good.
fucking great. I never got into the Melvins. I don't know why. I could just never. Maybe I didn't
Yeah.
try hard enough. I haven't tried in the last like 10 years. So maybe
So
I'll try
have you
again.
listened to Houdini though? Have you listened to that album?
I listened
That's
to
their
any of
best
it.
album.
That
by
one will
far.
get you into
Yeah.
them.
You listen to that
It's
song Honey Bucket. It's their only fast song, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It's the only
I
fast
haven't
song
tried
it
to
is.
listen to them since
Yeah.
I was a teenager, so I need to try again with
Yeah.
now that I'm older.
No, they have some other ones. Stoner Wedge is pretty cool too.
I just,
It's got
I
fast
mean,
stuff.
I listened. I think I tried to listen to the second album because that's the one that Kurt Cobain talks about on the Unplugged thing.
Oh,
So
for sure.
So if I was gonna add another member of the band, this is the question I gotta ask everybody. Do you like Pearl Jam or Nirvana better?
Nirvana.
Yeah, Nirvana.
Nirvana.
But if anybody says
Yeah.
Pearl Jam, you're like, we can't play together.
Really? You guys, is that really a question you asked? Is that like a
Some
legitimate
people
question?
really like Pearl Jam better. It's
The
a
real
thing.
answer is those aren't in the same category.
Yeah, that is the same. But I love Pearl Jam, but I love Nirvana too. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't put them in the same category.
Exactly.
I feel like Pearl Jam is very soulful and very they're
Yeah.
very into musicianship.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
like Nirvana is just like
Because there's some
But
things that
they're
Pearl
like-
Jam does that
They're
Nirvana
the
doesn't
grunge
do.
version of Fish to me. I don't know.
Really?
They're a jam
No,
band. They're
I
a
don't think they're a
jam
jam
band,
band.
man. Yeah.
No,
Come on.
they're not
Well, I
jam.
guess
More
that's
than-
just my own thing. I don't know.
You just dick hard for Nirvana, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't.
he's dick
That
hard.
has nothing to do with it though. I'm
That's
just
my
not-
new
I don't-
favorite verb. You
Dude,
dick
I
hard
can't-
for
I
Nirvana.
can't listen to bands that like have songs longer than 5 minutes for whatever reason. It's
Really?
my
Really?
ADHD, man. It has nothing to do with they're bad or not.
Really?
I personally can't listen to bands that have super long songs.
See, I love
Other
that
than
shit.
like Metallica for some reason. I always listen,
I can't see that's
Battery.
Like, actually, like it's metal songs that are really long. I can't handle, but I can listen to like the fucking Doors and shit like that. and
I
have, like,
listen to the Doors.
Okay, well then fuck you then. All those songs are like 8 minutes long.
Well, let's be honest though. Who doesn't like stop paying attention to Light My Fire for the 5 minutes in
Okay,
between, and
fuck
then it
that
comes
song.
back
You're
in?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. That song every
Shit.
single time.
And I do that to Metallica too. I mean, Ant Justice
Yeah.
for All, that song's like 10 minutes long.
You're
During
right.
that whole slow
You're
middle
right.
section that's like 4 minutes long, I forget
Yeah.
I'm listening to the song.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the drums come back and you're like, oh,
Light
yeah,
My
yeah.
Fire. About 5 minutes into the keyboard solo, I skip. I go to the next song. I'm done. I don't like the
God
song enough
damn
to
it.
wait. Like I'm good.
But it sucks because that's the last chorus is the best one.
Yeah, I know. I
Light
know.
my fire.
I love that fucking album, man. I love the Doors.
As you have it out right now.
I display some shit. You know what I mean? I changed it up a little bit. I like
Yeah,
to
when
mix
I
it
was
up.
like 11 years old, I read a biography of Jim Morrison that I rented from my school library. I don't know why they had that in there. That was probably the
That's
worst
cool.
thing I could have read as a child.
Oh, you want to check this out? I stole from my public school library in 9th grade a copy of Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. So like there you go. Like, school libraries had shit. Yeah.
Because that's what you need to read when you're in
Like,
ninth
I
grade.
was
It's
just
like
like-
a vicious rape scene that you're not really gonna understand for its like artistic
for its
standpoint.
artistic standpoint.
Oh,
Yeah. So like I remember getting that in 9th grade. I just walked in and walked out with it. Like I didn't even check it out. I was just I just fucking pieced out.
You probably saved it from just getting kicked out of the library anyways, though. So,
I still
mean,
have it though. I
yeah.
still have that copy.
You
of
still
it.
gotta read it. I mean,
it
it's a
back.
beautiful thing.
Yeah, give it back. I'll go back.
I stole this. I'm sorry, guys.
Dude, I have CDs from the public library too. Like, so the Clockwork Orange was from the school library, but the public library had a CD selection, and it was god awful. But at that time, so was my music taste.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah,
7th.
Papa Roach was cool, man.
No, fuck you. I got something worse.
I'll see you at the Buck Cherry Show.
in my CD collection, like right now, I have fucking Jason Mraz's first CD.
There you go.
I'm like waiting for a rocket to come, and it still has the little sticker on it that says Germantown Public Library. That and Hoobastank.
Come on.
Dude, okay, so you know that song? Okay, I know a lot of people don't know this. That song or whatever that they got really famous for. What is that?
More reason.
Yeah,
The
Only
reason.
Reason.
Yeah, The
That
Reason.
song was written.
It's
I
The
want you
Reason.
to guess. I
It's
want you
The
to guess who wrote that song.
Who?
Celine Dion. That's Celine Dion's song. She sang it live 10 years
Celine Dion
before
is
that
really
song
good.
got
Really?
released. Yeah, that is her song that she wrote. And then they took it. And they also do this thing in here that I hate about popular music that they do, that you'll listen to it now and you'll hear it forever.
Yeah.
It has this really drowning note above the entire song.
Yeah.
To make it false catchy, because not that catchy.
False catchy.
So
That's
it's
cool. Yeah, no, you're right. There's totally that. I think we did that on Vice Kid.
There is.
I think Josh, added that in there in post. Oops.
Yeah.
But if it works, but like.
If it works.
Oh no! So that's a trick used by the Beatles though. So
Okay, there you go.
The Beatles started doing a thing on their albums where they would hit the lowest 2 keyboard notes on an organ to fill in the sound at the bottom end.
Okay, gotcha.
So
That's cool.
So there you go. That's cool. That's smart.
and just padding. Everybody does padding if they're actually working on the recording.
Yeah.
If it's on a garage demo, they have padding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. See. Yeah. See,
Don't feel ashamed. All
No,
right?
we're
Don't-
learning. We're learning all this shit now because our
Yeah.
first EP was done with that fucking handheld mic over there with Audacity, like multi. Like that's it. That's how we did. And there was no leveling. There was no mixing. We put reverb on it and fucking like volume level the volumes. That was the end of it.
Our first EP that we did with Good Grief, the thing, Punk's Not Dead.
Yeah.
All right, so we did that one with a 4-track recorder, and so to get 2 tracks on it, on the computer recorded, we panned the drums, the low end, the toms, and the bass drum to the left, and the snare and the cymbals to the right.
Oh my god.
And then had to like try to live mix it, which you know never works. And so on that album, you could totally hear it, like the bass drum and the toms like barely hit.
Yeah.
And then the fucking like snare is just like dun dun dun. Like, so
That's how we almost did it. We almost did it through a mixer. And
Yeah.
like it sounded like shit.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah,
did all
no,
the
I
demos through a
love-
mixer too.
I love how it sounds because it sounds so good on a phone speaker because it has almost no low end on
Yeah.
it. It's super aggressive and like super intrusive sounding. It's just like a wall of sound. Like
Yeah.
Phil Spector did a garage album.
I'm sure. Wow, this went from a really like talking about how shitty it was to being like, oh, it's like Phil Spector.
no,
that was quick.
not because I'm as good as Phil Spector. Let's be honest here. Other than
But you do like putting guns in women's mouths.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't every once in a while?
Allegedly, I'm just kidding. He did get convicted.
Allegedly.
You know, he did get convicted.
Crazy motherfucker. But
He
you know what?
ruined the Ramones, so fuck
I
that
was
guy.
about to say, you know what, the only thing crazier than putting guns in women's mouths was recording a fucking album for the Ramones. Like what?
Yeah.
And the Ramones allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh,
that
yeah,
album
so-
is ridiculous. It's an abortion. Like so much of that. And I love Phil Spector and I love that music. I have so much like Black Girl Group from the '60s and all kinds of Phil Spector shit. I have his Christmas record. I love that shit.
Oh, yeah.
But not with the Ramones.
So
Alright.
let's take the thing that everybody likes about punk music, the aggressive, like, you know, super like tight sound,
put a gun in
super
its mouth.
dry.
Basic.
Yeah. And then let's just make it sound like a bunch of fucking reverb. Like, because the Ramones album doesn't sound good. It sounds like somebody used the reverb pedal on the mix and plugged it back into the console.
Not just that, but they added all these extra instruments. You have
Yeah.
like remember Rock and Roll Radio? It has
Yeah.
all this like how all this brass
Rock
on
and
it.
roll radio.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Give me back to Rocket to Russia. This is not what I want to hear.
Like, they already sounded Beach Boys enough. They didn't need to make that extra
Which
step
is
to just
fine.
sound. Yeah.
Like I love Rockaway Beach, and I love
Yeah.
all of those old like Beach Boys sounding Ramones songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was I remember listening to that because I got super into the Ramones for a while. And I remember laying on there was a period of like 2 weeks where I would lay on my floor every single night, and I would listen to the Ramones discography and read Commando, the Johnny Ramone autobiography. And I remember every single time, like, it would get to the end of the century, I was like, what the fuck is this? More like end of a career? Boom. But I was like, this is not, I would rather listen to Brain Drain than
And
this.
that was Matt's book review of the day.
So I always had this question, as I really like asking musicians this question, since you are a fellow musician. What album not got you into music? What album made you want to be a musician?
It's probably going to be something embarrassing.
I remember
Kids
mine.
Bop Volume 1.
That made you want to be a musician?
Maybe want to be a musician.
And
Probably
Like, what made you know that, like, I wanted to be in a band and that's what I want to do?
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden? That's
My dad, when I was a kid, because at that time, all I was influenced by was the music my dad was listening to.
Yeah.
So this is like 5 or 6-ish. So I remember going through my dad's CDs and being captivated by the Best of the Beast compilation album cover, and it had. Now I'm like looking back.
Eddie just
it's a
looks fucking
collage
badass.
of
Yeah.
all the Eddies, and it's
Yeah.
fucking badass. But every single time I got to the Blaze era, I was like, "Fuck this! Who's this singing? This is awful."
Yeah.
Like but like, I remember just being and looking at the back and through the artwork. That was the album that I really understood. Like, this is badass. And my dad telling me like what the bass was and how you could hear Steve Harris's like just attack. Yeah, it's so just the attacking gallop.
Yeah.
And that's when I really fell in love with it. And ever since then, I really tried. And then I discovered like pop punk and metal and punk
Yeah.
rock. So that and like System of a Down were like the 2 bands I was really into when I was
System of a
younger.
Down. I've always
That
wanted
was-
to just be as tight as System of a
Yeah,
Down.
but
One day.
when I was a kid, it was just like Toxicity. Obviously, they had albums before that, but that was the only one that was really bad. So it was like,
Yeah.
so it was really
They're trying to
into
build a prison,
Toxicity, and I fucking love that song, dude. So yeah, Iron Maiden was probably the band that really got me into it, and
What about
I want his signature bass. They
You want the
have
Steve Harris
signature
bass?
They have the Steve Harris bass at Sam Ash in Peoria, and it's $999, and it's I looked it up.
Just pretend it's a library book and walk out.
Here's the
with it.
thing. So I looked it up, and it weighs 25 pounds.
Fuck.
Whoa.
It's ridiculous. It's
Why?
like, I don't understand. Like,
Did they put wood
has, like,
inside of the
his-
wood?
I don't
Like-
know why it's that heavy, but he's
Has
only
his
like
bone
he's
marrow.
only like $120. Like, I don't know how he's running around stage with that. It's insane. But wait, what about you?
Let's see. My favorite. I'd have to say the album that made me want to be a musician, that made me just want to be in a band, would have to be Yeah Yeah's Fever to Tell.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good.
Yeah,
alright.
because I really like Nirvana and everything, and like I started like
Yeah.
wanting to play songs and stuff, and I learned every single Nirvana song on guitar. But the thing that made me want to be in a band, it made me really want to do this as like a job, was Yeah Yeah's Fever to Tell.
That's a good choice.
Something that fucking album, which of course goes probably back to the 2-piece thing I like, because it's only a 2-piece with a singer.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just the guitarist and the drums.
Then I need to listen to that because I don't know Yes.
I love that song "Y Control" on that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's
That's a good one.
I know. I the only thing in this. Okay, so the singer's name of Yes is
Carano.
And the only thing that and this is really embarrassing, but I never really got into the Yes, but I got really into the Where the Wild Things Are soundtrack.
Yeah.
I love the shit out of that
And that was
soundtrack.
her and Nick Zinner, the
Yeah.
guitarist.
Mhm.
So.
I
Was it like for a
do
long album?
need to get into the Yes.
Well, it was with Nick Zinner. I mean, it's just basically without the drummer.
Yeah, a bunch of kids. What about you, Austin?
I like Nevermind. I think
Nevermind?
That's
That was a
the
big
one.
one.
Well, I mean, I've been playing drums like way before, but like when I heard Nevermind, I was like, I want to play in a fucking band. Like I want to.
Well,
it,
Dave
like, for
Grohl will do
real.
that to anybody. Dave
course.
Grohl will inspire anybody to do anything.
Yeah, fuck
Because
yeah.
he could just
Yeah.
do anything. He'd be like, take a shit on the ground and sell it for $1 million. Like, fuck that guy.
I'd buy it.
Oh man.
Oh
And
man.
Cameron, what about you?
I don't know. Well, I think it was a live thing that got me into it actually, because I remember like growing up, my older brother played guitar, and he showed me like how to play like Weezer and Green Day, and so like I knew how to play, and I was like really into like the Killers and just kind of like vaguely into music. Like I didn't know it that well, but then there's this band that was from here called the White Mammoth, and I saw them live, and it just like blew my fucking little kid mind.
What kind of music what were they playing?
Oh,
They're-
fucking amazing.
they're-
Like, I love them.
Yeah, I think they're like a little more indie version of Nirvana. They're
Okay,
kind of
cool.
I mean
like Radiohead, Nirvana.
Okay.
yeah. And like I mean their music's good. I love it, and but it wasn't like anything that new. It was just that seeing them live and seeing them do it, and like I understood it. Like the guitarist was playing the guitar like that matched the bass guitar, that matched the drums, that everything, and I was just like, holy fuck. I was like 15, so I was just like, this is awesome. Like, so I just had to start, like, I was like, I gotta make music, you know.
That's,
like,
dude.
because I already knew how
That's
to
a
play
year
guitar.
before we met,
Yeah.
too.
That's
Like,
so lucky for
damn.
you because, like, okay, my first 2 concerts I ever went to, one was bullshit, and the other one was just
Was that
so.
the name of the band? Is that like a hardcore?
Yeah.
Hey, we're
So-
bullshit.
No, do you guys know the band Overkill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have an album called "Fuck You," and it's just a middle finger. So
Clever.
yeah, but anyway, that's what reminded me. So, that
was a very
some story that had no,
non-sequitur,
nothing to do with anything. So okay, first concert I went to was bullshit. Second concert was just so big that so first concert was Sheryl Crow. Bullshit.
I'm in that same boat.
What was your first
Mine
concert?
was Brad Paisley.
All right, there you go.
Mine was Warped Tour, so I think.
Okay,
I
well, there you go. You win. All right. So first, so Sheryl Crow, and that was like, okay, this is what it was boring. So then the year after that, my parents tried to make up for that by giving me like an awesome concert that I was gonna love, and that was Red Hot Chili Peppers on
Too
the
big.
Stadium Arcadium tour.
Too big though.
And-
Too big.
Yeah, too big. And here's the thing: Stadium Arcadium tour, Gnarls Barkley opened when Crazy was the single.
Oh my
so it was
God.
fucking insane, right? But here's the thing: we were up in the nosebleeds, and I remember probably about 45 minutes into like 2.5 hour set, I was like, I don't think I want to make music.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I was so bored. It was so impersonal. It was like he wasn't even like doing raps to the crowd. Like, it was just song to song to song to song. And it was so big. I was just watching the monitors the whole time. And
You're like, I
made
want to go
me.
back to Sheryl Crow.
Yeah, it made me.
The first cut is the deepest.
Yeah, you know, that's not even her song though.
It's
That's the
not?
Cat Stevens song that she like made shittier and poppier. And I like Cat Stevens, but like yeah,
It's
so
cool cat.
yeah, no. So later on, I got to see real concerts, and
That's
I was
awesome.
like, oh, this is way cool.
Yeah.
But I remember Chili Peppers. I remember being so bummed.
Yeah.
Because it was, I was expecting it to be awesome, and it was so.
Yeah.
Dude, here's my thing though, man. Is I never got to be cool with my music. You know how you like, you start listening to music and your parents are like, that's like too heavy or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never experienced that.
His
So
mom
here's
and parents are always
here's
cool.
a few. Okay, so we probably in the
Yeah.
same boat on this one. I would like put shit on and like So my dad, when I was like 5-6 years old, took me to go see the Misfits when it was Marky Ramone drumming, Des Cadena playing guitar, and Jerry Only.
That's rad.
Yeah, in a
And
mall.
you're like a little kid. You
Yeah,
know the
and I'm a
difference.
little kid. I didn't even fucking pay attention, obviously, because I'm like 5 years old. I'm like, it was super cool. And then, like, I remember when I bought Nirvana's Bleach at Hot Topic with my mom because,
Yeah.
that's when Hot Topic was still kind of cool.
It wasn't. We were just lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm starting to. I've been
There you
talking
go.
Okay,
about
well,
a
I
lot
was in
lately.
like 8th grade.
Me
so
too.
it's
No,
super
yeah.
cool, yeah.
It's because there was like nothing cool yet.
Yeah.
Like Hot Topic was
I was
first.
talking about that the other day. How like Hot Topic, I think, has always been as lame as it is now. We were just lamer.
Yeah, so I put the CD on. I was like, "Hey, mom, can I listen to this or whatever?" And I knew she'd like Nirvana, but I thought it was like like everybody else. They like
Did
never
she not
mind.
know Nirvana?
No, well, no, she loves Nirvana.
Okay, I was like, did
But
she
so
not
I
know it?
popped it in, and she started singing. I like clicked on because I've already heard the songs before on
Yeah.
YouTube and stuff, but there was one I didn't hear called "Big Cheese" at the end of it.
Uh-huh.
Super cool fucking song.
Yeah.
I put it on. It's a fucking B-side, and my mom just starts singing all the
That's
words.
awesome.
And then like, was it like 3 days later? She wakes me up to "Am I Evil" from Metallica blasting at 8 o'clock in the morning while she's vacuuming. I'm like, I just can't fucking be cool. Ever.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, my mom showed me The Used, if that tells you anything. The first album of The Used.
I am the biggest Used fan, like
Yeah.
drooling, crying Used fan.
Nice.
I'm still a 13-year-old girl. Like you don't understand. The Used, I will buy everything they ever release. I freaked out when they put out the acoustic. I'm so I'm in love with that band as
There you
I
go.
am well as I was when I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
But that and Bowling for Soup.
Yeah.
Bowling for Soup,
Right
I'm a
on.
little bit more ashamed of. But so one of the things that I was going to say was, like, me growing up, my parents, it was very all over the place. My mom and my dad had a similar taste in music, but my mom would oftentimes go a little softer. So I always had an influx of different bands and different types of music. So my dad would always play hair metal. And there was a middle ground, which was like Green Day.
Rat is the best hair metal band.
Yeah, no, I heard all that shit. I loved it, girl. I loved all that shit. I have Cinderella in the fucking in my record collection because it was like $2, and I was like, yeah, nostalgia.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking yeah, gypsy.
Glam to the max.
So it was so bad. So anyway, but then there's a middle ground, which was like radio punk and like Nirvana and Offspring, and then the other side was my mom. And you were talking about how your mom cleaning and listening to music. My mom would clean and listen to Fleetwood Mac and Phil Collins and John Mellencamp and James Taylor. So I also that was the music that I didn't want to like, and I was like, "This is fucking stupid, Mom."
Even though it's really good,
It's
you're
so
like,
good. But then I got older.
Fuck James Taylor and
Yeah,
that
exactly.
silky smooth voice.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
See, but now I'm older, and I'm like, oh my god, James Taylor's amazing.
Yeah.
So, like, and I'm so into it. And it's just like,
I feel like that's the kind of music, like, after you're a musician, you're like, I wish I could do that.
yeah,
Like,
and like the
You listen to like Nora Jones and you're like, fuck, that woman is amazing.
do you guys ever have things that like tie your senses into music? Like whenever I hear Landslide, I immediately smell bleach because my mom used to just like clean with fucking products all the time.
Yeah.
So every single time I hear that opening guitar part, I'm always just like feel like I'm a little kid like laying on the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have shit like that like
Yeah,
ties in?
Yeah, so I
get
don't
you.
know. I'm trying to think of something right now though. I mean,
My parents
So-
didn't influence my music a lot,
Really?
actually.
Yeah,
Not
no.
really at all.
Just your brother?
My brothers did more, yeah. But then at the same time, it was a lot of like just like spun in my own kind of stuff because I just was like wanted to be a black sheep, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's
But I mean they don't have a bad taste. Like my mom, she just just anything I would have heard anyway. My dad really likes the Rolling Stones. My mom really likes the Beatles. And like, you know, I listened to it, but I was just like, okay, I don't care.
I could never get in. The
Yeah.
Rolling Stones will never do it for me.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stones and The Who are two bands that will always flummox me. I don't get it.
I think I'm in that. Yeah.
It was my brothers that really got me in.
Like,
I can't.
The Who,
I tried
dude, I
so
love The
hard.
Who,
I can't
though.
do
I
it.
mean,
It
Well,
was
then
my
what should I
brothers.
start with?
what does he need? Just a hi-hat? Like, does that make you feel better?
Because he never used.
Something about The Who, like their music, just bores the fucking.
Dude, listen
bejesus
to
out.
Live at Leeds, man.
Okay,
You
then I'll listen to that. That's what they tell
Listen
me
to-
what to listen to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Live at Leeds is a really good one because
'Cause
they have like shit just like, you know, what is it? I'm Free. That song's really fucking heavy. I love that
cool.
shit. Do. Just don't think that they're great musicians because they're not.
Well, I won't care about that. I remember
Yeah.
I think I tried to listen to My Generation because that's like the biggest one, or like The Who Sell Out, or just the big albums, and I just can't do
man.
it.
Come on, man. Let's see.
It's all about Magic Bus.
It's all about
just-
Happy Jack.
No. I mean, the Who has some shit.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they have
they're-
some good stuff.
Yeah.
Just like any band, though.
But
Yeah.
they're no Beatles. Nobody's the Beatles.
Oh yeah, no, it's the Beatles.
Anybody tells me they think the Beatles are overrated should probably go die in a hole.
So me like 3 months ago. Really? No. But I didn't get in the Beatles until my girlfriend got me into the Beatles, like, which was like not even a year ago. Because here's my extent of knowledge of the Beatles. Because my parents, for some reason, of all the music that they listened to, of
didn't like
all
the
that
Beatles.
different things, they just didn't care. It wasn't that they didn't like them, but it never came through my house ever. So I didn't discover the Beatles until I saw Across the Universe, and I loved all those versions more because I was a fucking Neanderthal.
Yeah.
And then I got older, and I met her, and she's like got me into all the other songs, and then I got into the Beatles. But it wasn't
Yeah.
until I was like 22 that I got into the Beatles.
Yeah, and then
stuff
you
they're
listen to
exposed.
like everybody
Yeah.
has secrets except for me and my monkey. Like when
Yeah.
you listen to songs like that, and you're like, God, they're fucking punk. What
Yeah,
was this? Like,
Maxwell Silverhammer is my favorite Beatles song.
Oh, yeah.
It's my favorite one. I don't
That
know
was
why, I
good.
just love it.
it's always about me though. Like, you know, the really old stuff when they first came out of Hamburg.
I love that shit too,
yeah.
dude. I love their like Please Please Me is one of my favorites. I love that
Yeah.
album.
But
But you
she's
know what, though?
also shaking her head. No, that guy.
But you know my biggest, like honestly though, my favorite album of theirs, and now I think it's number 2 now, maybe next to like Abbey Road. But my fucking favorite album forever was With the Beatles.
Yeah.
I love With the Beatles. It's all like black girl groups, like covers.
Yeah.
But there's
Come
something
on,
about
dude.
that
His
album that's
Mr.
fun.
Postman is just fucking.
Yeah.
Please, Mr. Postman.
It's so good. I love it.
Screaming the entire time.
Yeah, I started to get into like the later stuff later on, and I really like Revolver too. But there's some songs like that I just like. I think it was Rubber Soul. Rubber Soul has what's that song that I don't fucking like? Norwegian Wood. I fucking hate that song.
yeah, I don't like
I don't
that.
get it. I
God.
don't like it. I can't stand that song for some reason. I just don't like the melody. It just
Baby,
bothers me.
you can drive my car.
Yeah, I can dig that. That's a good one.
I dig that one. Yeah.
But I like other lot. I like all the proteges of those bands too. Like I like the Zombies is one of my fucking favorites.
Oh, yeah.
I love the
Zombies rule.
Zombies. Listen to Zombies all the time.
60s garage punk is probably the coolest thing in garage bands.
Yeah.
I call it punk though because
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Like Ray Davies from the fucking Kinks used to, before they had distortion pedals and stuff, and they were too broke to fucking afford
Yeah.
anything like fuzz pedals or anything. He would literally cut the bottom cloth of his Vox amps and crank the amp up, so the distortion was the fucking fabric hitting.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Fuck.
And he still does that to his day, and they're like, we can make amps that sound exactly like that with that. He's
Better,
like,
yeah.
but I like this.
No. No.
Exactly.
Well, it's like how Queens of the Stone Age, I guess. Like Sunland was telling me when they were over that Queens of the Stone Age just got a bunch of shit box, like old amps that like were
Gorilla
pieces of
5
shit.
watt amps.
Yeah, and then they just like spent a shit ton of money on fixing them instead of buying new ones, and just played the whole fucking
Yeah.
songs to death through that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I wish we could do shit like
Yeah,
that.
Josh Homme had an interview where he said like the shittier the amp, the more inspiring it is.
Yeah.
Like he records with ones that are like 5 and 10 watt amps, and stuff. But then live they use giant.
Well,
fucking
yeah.
amps.
The thing about Josh Homme that the thing that made me fall in love with him, and I think I like him more than his band. Almost.
Oh, all right.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm with Dave Grohl. Not about Nirvana, but Foo Fighters. They're
Crooked
okay.
Vultures, though. Come on.
But Cricket Vultures, yeah. But so anyway, with Josh Homme, like I heard him say once, they asked him why he plays his guitar through bass amps, and he's like, "'Cause you're not supposed to." And I was like, "Yeah."
What does he say about their studio in the desert? He's like, two wrongs don't make a right, but 40 wrongs make a right. Just like everything is as wrong as possible.
Or he was talking about when he talked about like people pirating music and how he felt about it. He's like, "Hey, I mean, I don't come to your job and take the dick out of your mouth." And I was just like, "What the fuck? Like, I love you." And then I don't know if you guys have seen his guitar. He did he sat down and played guitar with someone on the internet. I don't remember what it was for.
Was that for that noisy thing? It was
I think
like-
so. And he was
yeah.
playing like polka shit
Yeah.
with his fingers.
Yeah,
And
he's
that
really
guy-
good.
He didn't
so
know what a
interesting.
guitar pick was until he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
16.
that interview.
He's
Like,
so good,
Such
too.
an interesting dude.
They
Yeah.
were both so stoned in that interview.
Yeah.
You can probably tell.
But
They're like all sweating, like fucking drunk and shit.
do you guys like Caius?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but until Josh Homme left and they weren't
Well,
as
yeah, of
good.
course,
But,
yeah.
it's really funny how he talks about that, too, is that how he used to tune all of his guitars was that he would just do it as low as possible until it lost the snappiness and then kick it back up just a little bit.
Gotcha.
So his strings were literally as low as possible and he'd have the rest of the band tuned to him. And he did that because they played outside a lot because there wasn't anywhere
Yeah.
to play in Death Valley. And so any way to get themselves to sound louder outside, like to sound heavier, was the reason because outside just makes you sound like shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
all
you
the
played
time.
outside, like it automatically ruins
Sound
your
just goes everywhere.
Yeah.
and- yeah.
You sound
not a good
wimpy.
deal.
It's all tinny. Like
Yeah. Have we played that many outside gigs? Not too many. We
Not
played
too
like
many.
Lawn Gnome.
I remember
House
them, though,
shows.
though.
Yeah.
house shows where you have to worry about the
On the
bass drum
backyard.
sliding across the whole
I
fucking
fucking
thing.
hate those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember?
They're like, we
tell
got a
them-
rug. It's okay. And then the rug just leaves with the bass drum.
Tell them,
I
tell them,
tried it.
tell them what we did for you for the entire first, 6 months of the band, the first tour.
Oh, about the tape?
Yeah.
We had to tape the bass drum lugs down on we played this pizza shop, Spinelli's,
Spinelli's.
right?
Yeah.
And the bass drum
yeah.
kept creeping away, so we had to literally get duct tape and tape the fucking legs down
To the floor.
Yeah.
So we would, instead of now I'm thinking
Hell yeah.
in retrospect, we could have just made some kind of badass double-sided deal.
Yeah.
But instead, we just straight wrapped it around it and then to the floor.
We wanted to make it as complicated as
You
possible.
should have just tied it to your leg.
Well, there were some shows where I would play the whole show with my foot against the
Yeah.
side
Yeah.
of it.
We've done that many a times where you keep kicking it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
gotta keep pushing it back. Yeah.
Consumer did that one time when I saw him.
Yeah.
Tell me about Consumer. I love their music, but I know their music, and that's literally all I know. I don't know how many people are in the band. I don't know anything about it at
They're
all.
fucking amazing. That's all I can say. They fucking are an attack on your brain.
Yeah, I love their fucking music.
So, okay, so here's the easiest part. So, Sean is the singer. He uses effects on his vocals are literally an instrument in itself.
Okay, yeah, I know.
So, he has a whole pedal board that he puts on a fucking rack on
No,
a...
he puts on a walker.
yeah, on a
like
walker.
an old person
and
walker.
then
Oh, that's
the
rad.
rack is on the
So
walker.
it's all in front of him, and he
Yeah.
fucks with it.
That's so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so he has this
And he
weird
throws it
little-
around quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
so he's screaming the entire time, uses the feedback to get weird sounds and everything.
Yeah.
And then drumming is Josh, and he is a really cool, like, unique drummer in the
he's
way
heavy
that he
as fuck.
plays. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
super heavy. Fairly ever
I think
chooses his
he-
drum set on purpose too.
He played with what's his name? That other folk punk guy. He's not. I think he's from here, but he's. Shit.
Folk punk guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his name now.
Andrew
though.
Jackson G. No,
No.
the fucking. Why did I think that? No, what's the other guy's name? Andy Warpigs.
Oh,
Yeah.
Andy Warpigs.
Yeah,
he
Duh, I
was
love
there.
Andy. We love
Yeah.
Andy, dude.
He was
We're
their
all
drummer.
close
It was
with him.
Josh. Yeah, it was
Okay,
their
gotcha.
drummer. And
Yeah.
and then oh no, what's his name? Jeremy
Jeremy
is
yeah.
their bassist,
Oh man,
who's a
Just
fucking
the-
wizard.
Yeah, so
Because-
he has like 12 pedals, and it is literally
No joke. He's got like I think he's got like 12 pedals he
Yeah.
plays with every time, and he
Yeah.
uses them all.
Yeah, it's
he uses them
fucking
like
crazy.
crazy, and then he has a fretless bass.
Yeah,
Wait,
a
hold on.
fretless bass.
Hold on. So Curt is so stoked. And every single time that Cameron says something else, Cameron,
There we go.
you can see, or Curt, you can see his face. He puts hands on his face. He's like,
"Oh,
sounds so,
trying
I just
so
want to
hard
talk.
not to talk.
Like, he wants to talk so bad, but he's so polite.
I'm so rudely polite.
Cameron's about to say something, and Kurt's he's about to cut him off and say
Yeah.
the exact same thing.
He's like, no.
Like we finished each other's balls.
Yeah, there we go.
That was what we're gonna say. The bass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the fretless bass, and then he has two Ampegs, like the big fucking ones, like the 10/8s or whatever, something like that, like just fucking insane, way overpowered. And so like while you're sitting there watching him play, it's just like this fucking like pulsating, like rocking your whole chest. You're a bass player, you know that when you
Yeah.
get that really loud. He knows how to fucking make it rock though. And
I
so,
think because Jeremy said that he's like I hate when you go to venues and you can't hear the bass enough.
Yeah.
So he got 2 bass amps.
Nice.
so
like, I'm just
it's
gonna be
two
loud as
big
hell.
fucking Ampegs that he uses.
Yeah.
So it's just super loud, super rumbly, and then he
And he's the only one making noise, so he's
Yeah.
not competing
Yeah.
with anybody else. He's just
yeah,
the bassist.
he's the only one doing all that low end, and he's just destroying everything with like whammy pedals and everything, and like doing all those weird slides and everything. Like what you hear on the recordings is exactly like what they're playing. Like that's not studio magic by any means.
Oh, there's
It's
nothing
so
about
raw.
consumers' music makes me think studio magic.
No, they're
no,
so
no.
raw.
But like no, there's like nothing about it. They didn't use any post like effects on anything. Like that's all fucking Jeremy doing those
That's
weird
awesome.
sounds.
I'm pretty
and he
sure
does
it's
it
just
a
like
lot.
live recording.
Yeah.
It's so raw.
I see their
love it.
cassettes at record stores all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I really dig their shit. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up now.
Okay.
I'm fucking
Okay.
starving.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for coming over. This
Thank
is
you so
really
much,
fun.
man.
I cannot wait to see you guys and play with you.
Yeah, I'm
March
fucking super excited.
March
9th?
4th,
March 4th.
51 West. Can't fucking wait. This is gonna be a really, really good
gonna
time.
be
So
dope.
thank you guys for coming over.
It's gonna be
Thank
dope.
you.
Had a lot of
It's over,
fun.
man.
Seriously. Oh, he stole your handshake. First he's stealing your topic, so he's stealing your handshake.
Sorry.
Say bye,
Right on.
Austin.
Bye.